Good afternoon. Sorry, Lincoln stuff is in here in my way. Baiting me to black and everything.
Sir, he's not a pet.
He's four-legged, Harry. He's on a leash. That's a pet.
No, Henry is an assistance animal. Look, I'm legally blind. Couldn't you make a reasonable accommodation for my guide dog?
Young lady, you can call your canine friend anything you want. Those are the rules.
Rules? Rules that allow for housing discrimination? So I made a call to HUD to confirm that indeed landlords must make reasonable accommodations for assistance animals. And now we're so happy in our new apartment.
If you think you've been discriminated against because of your disability, race, color, religion, national origin, sex, or familial status, call the HUD.
Maria Smith, Russell Tucson,
or go to HUD.gov/fairhousing. File a complaint.
Carl, Carol, Anthony, Tria.
Public service message from the U.S. Department of Housing and
Calling all these names, ain't even got all my stuff together. Kind of bull crap is that?
Wake up and text.
Come on,
and eat.
dude, get your stuff together.
Text and catch the bus. Text and miss your stop. Wait. Text and be late to work. Sorry, I'm late. Text and work. Text and pretend to work. Text and act surprised when someone calls you out for not working. Who, me? Text and meet up with a friend you haven't seen in forever.
Hi.
Oh, hey. Text and complain that they're on their phone the whole time. Text and listen to them complain that you're on your phone the whole time. Text and whatever. But when you get behind the wheel, give your phone to a passenger. Put it in the glove box. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A public service announcement.
Lisa
National Highway
Johnson
Traffic Safety
Wells,
Administration and the Ad Council.
Tina Benson, Paul Cunningham, Quintano Randall, Brenda Harris, Sabrina Livingston, Kathy A. Goodwin Williams, Purple Rain, Tony Revels. Good afternoon, peepers. I knew somebody who used to say people like that. It always made me laugh. Kathy Joe Wilson says, what does your shirt say? To suck in my gut so you can see the whole thing. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I am with you until 3 o'clock. Thank you. 3 o'clock. 749-1230. That's the number to get on board. Raven Monday, she's over there on the other side of the glass.
Hello.
And we got an action-packed show today, all right? Action-packed. I'm just playing. It's not action-packed. It'll be like every other show. It'll be like every other show. We'll talk about some stuff. I'll do some rambling, and then we'll all go home. All right? Yeah. 749-1230. That's the number to get on board. And the news broke yesterday after we left here. I got an alert on my phone that Michael K. Williams, star of The Wire, he was Omar in The Wire. He was found dead in his apartment at the age of 54. They are reporting that, he was found that there was some drug paraphernalia on a table nearby. And I was thinking, oh, I can't say it again. I can't say with 100% certainty. I can't say with 100% certainty. But I'm just guessing, you'll hear the word fentanyl eventually with regard to this case. It's sad when anybody dies. You know, it's sad when, well, people that you know and that you love or that you've grown attached to just from, you know, listening to them or watching them do what they do. It's sad when you hear of that. That drug game is it's a tricky thing. I mean, he had some issues with drug use in the past. He had said that he'd come out and mentioned that he'd had some substance abuse issues. So it's not necessarily that he was using drugs. And let me encourage you, if you are using drugs or something like that, and I'm no expert on any of this stuff, y'all. I don't use drugs or any of that kind of stuff. And again, I'm not saying that to make me seem like I'm better than you if you do. It's just different. Thank goodness I never got caught up in that world. But if you're using, think about seeking help, especially right now. People are lacing these drugs with fentanyl, and fentanyl is killing people. I don't know a whole lot about fentanyl, but apparently if you take some fentanyl and you take a little too much, it'll kill you. Yeah, it'll kill you. And I know, you know, we're in a society now where everybody does whatever they want to do. We are in a shameless society, in a society where there is no right and there is no wrong. It's just you do what you want to do, and nobody better not tell you not to do it. That's the society that we live in. And I tell you, the first time I heard the term slut shaming, my mouth dropped and I said, what? Because it was in the context that that's bad. It's bad to do that. And I'll be honest, what I was thinking, and excuse the terminology, if you've never heard that terminology before, it's a real thing. I didn't just make it up. I'm not just saying a word for shock value or, you know, to be mean or anything. It's a real term that people use, slut shaming. And what that means is, or at least my take on it, what that means is you should not make, in the case that I was hearing it in, a young lady, don't try to make her feel bad because she's a slut. She got a right to have as much sex with as many people and have those desires and fulfill those desires, and who are you to tell her that it's wrong? So don't slut shame me. And I was thinking, when I was growing up, granted, I'm old, okay? I'm old. But when I was growing up, that was a bad thing. It was, you know, it was bad. And it was frowned upon. We don't live in that society anymore. Some people say that's for the best. I think it's for the worse. Because if somebody tells you that they do cocaine, you can't shame them. It's, oh, that's bad. Well, I use it responsibly. Are you responsibly using cocaine? You're using cocaine. That's kind of irresponsible in and of itself. But no. That's me putting my morals and values and whatnot on someone else. That's me putting that on someone else. And who am I to say that it's wrong to use cocaine or to smoke crack or to do heroin or meth. Who am I to say that it's wrong? This is the society that we live in. This is the way that this is how we roll now in 2021. It didn't start in 2021, but it's 2021 now. In 2021, it's wrong. This is about the only thing that's wrong, to tell someone else that what they're doing is wrong. That's about it. Everything else, 100% fair game. Well, let me take that back. If you're physically hurting people, it's okay to tell people to say that that's wrong. Other people, it's okay to say that that's wrong. But short of that, in 2021, everybody has the right to live their own life. And if you say something is bad, you're phobic. Whatever the bad thing that you say, you're that phobic. If you criticize someone about something, you're phobic. That phobic. Is it fat phobia? Is that what they call it? Yeah, you're fat phobic. We all heard you're homophobic. You're whatever it is, phobic. And phobic does not mean fear anymore. A phobia is no longer a fear. A phobia now is hatred. If you're homophobic, that don't mean you scared of them. That means you fear them. No, that means you hate them. You're homophobic, you hate homosexuals. You're fat phobic, you hate fat people. And then we end up in a situation where everything is fair game. Everything is cool. There is no wrong. And the world goes crazy. And that's where we are. And that's where we are. So, if you're out there on drugs, I'm not allowed to say it's bad, but it's dangerous. I think I'm allowed to say it's dangerous. And honestly, I would have to imagine that Michael K. Williams probably had access to, if you want to use the term, to a good drug dealer. It sounds crazy even when it came out. When I thought of it, it sounded crazy to say. But, I would imagine he's got enough money. He's got enough money that, he can, have a nice, steady, reliable drug dealer. And, he should know he getting the good stuff, right? Right? But, again, you don't know what your stuff been tainted with. But this is all just me speculating. I don't know what the man died from. He could have just been sitting there with he could have been sitting there minding his own business with drugs on the table and died of a heart attack. I don't know. We'll find out later. But if you out there and you're using drugs, this might be a good time to seek some help, to stop, because you don't know what you're going to get your hands on. You don't know what you're going to get your hands on. All right, let me take a quick break. It's the Afternoon Experience. I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'll be right back.
101.5 The Buzz, connecting you to information and events happening around the city and around the tri-state.
Here's what's buzzing this week. Hey, this sweetest day just got sweaty with the Sweetest Day Love Affair happening Saturday, October 16th.
Myosha says slut shaming is bad. And then she brings up, why are you worried about what a man does with his body? Why don't you not worry about what a man does with his body? If a man enjoys sex with different people, it's cool. So why is it not cool if a woman enjoys sex with different people? Just worry about you. Don't worry about what a man does with his body. I'm not worried about what you do with your body as a woman. You don't worry about what I do as a man with my body or other men do. Don't compare us and all that kind of stuff. Just because. You just worry about you.
Known for excellence, trusted for value, Walker Funeral Home expanded with 4 convenient locations.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said all that in the other mic. Did y'all hear me though?
Services are second to none, including advanced funeral planning and very affordable cremation.
But why are you doing a comparison? Okay, you said you're not worried about it. You were just doing a but why? Why? Why are you even thinking about what another man does with his body? You worry, just worry about you.
200 Walker Funeral Home, known for excellence and trusted for value.
So if a man does this, then bad. If a woman does this, then that. Stop worrying about what a man does. And look, I've always been one to say, you know, people shouldn't, based on, and this is just based on my upbringing and belief, people shouldn't be out there just, you know, doing it to whoever. People shouldn't be out there just doing it to whoever. But if it's a man, it's just as bad as if it's a woman. So, Jack says this mic is too loud. Turn your volume down. Both of them can't be too loud. Like, hey, when you come back on the air, that's too loud. And then when you go off the air, that's too loud. Maybe you just got your volume turned up too loud. If they both too loud. Just a thought.
You may not witness bullying like this every day. Your kids do. They want to help, but they don't know how. Visit stopbullying.gov to learn safe, simple ways.
But for real, I've always heard that it's bad to be a whore.
Be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
In this one small world we share together.
There are lots of
But
things we can
I don't want to slut shame nobody. Even though you should probably be ashamed of being a slut. What are some definite things that you should be ashamed of? Is there anything in 2021 that you as a person, short of hurting someone else, should be ashamed of?
From
It's me, baby.
to accept this call, say yes after the tone. Yes. You may not use two-way or three-way calling, or this call will be disconnected.
101.5.
You are connected.
We're your talk station. It's the afternoon experience. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I am with you until 3 o'clock this afternoon. 513-749-1230. That's the number to get on board. You can call. I do have one question, just curious for people. Is there anything that in 2021 that you should be ashamed of? I mean, other than hurting other people, just things that you do in your own life. Is there anything that we can now look at and say, hey, that's wrong? That's wrong and you're wrong for doing it. You shouldn't do that. That's bad. Is there anything now? Anything at all? Speaking of some of those other topics, shaming and whatnot, you know, Monica Lewinsky's back in the news. She's back in the news because they're doing that little mini series. Like, y'all remember the OJ mini series, which was actually decent. It was actually decent. But y'all remember that OJ mini series they're doing one for the impeachment of Bill Clinton. And so Monica Lewinsky got in there, and, you know, she was one of the producers of the show. She was there to, you know, make sure that her story was told right. And, you know, she's making the rounds. She says, look, I've grown a lot since my early 20s. And, you know, hey, she's still, people are still mad at Bill Clinton for having sexual relations with that woman. And yeah, people shamed Monica Lewinsky. I honestly thought it was all right to shame Monica Lewinsky. I thought that was cool. But again, I know it's 2021. And if you have sex with somebody else's husband, forget the presidency. Forget all of that kind of stuff. She knew he was married, right? We agree that. And she had some sort of sexual relations. They had sex. She didn't just, you know, they did it. Why is it wrong to say she was wrong? She was wrong for that. But, you know, they gonna paint it in here. You know who else was horribly wrong in that? Bill Clinton, because he was married. He knew he was married. But that Linda Tripp was terribly wrong in that. She was terribly wrong. But they're gonna be doing the impeachment, American Crime Story. Monica says, I'm nervous for people to see some of the worst moments of my life and a lot of behavior that I regret. Yeah. She says she does not recommend watching your early 20s be dramatized on TV, especially in this instance where the truth really is stranger than fiction. She says she's been incredibly lucky the last 6 or 7 years to really be able to reclaim her narrative. She says a lot of people know about the story, but they may be surprised by some of the details. And she says, I shouldn't get a pass. So, you know, it'll be interesting. On the live stream, if you don't know, I live stream typically when I'm on the air, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and sometimes Instagram. I'm not on Instagram today. But Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and sometimes Instagram. And there's nothing but women making excuses. Women making excuses for women making bad behavior. And instead of saying, hey, that's wrong, they're saying, well, what if men do it? So what? Are you worried about what men do? What about just acknowledging your wrong? Don't worry about what men do. Enough people get on men. So that's always been my frustration with women when you talk about issues where women can be wrong. They don't want to accept wrong. They want to deflect and talk about somebody else's wrong. And that always frustrates me. You did this. Just say, you're right. I did it. I was wrong. Period. But when you instead of, all right, I did it, I was wrong, you try to deflect by, what? I did what? Well, he did so and so. We're not talking about what he did. We're talking about you. Maybe if you just said, you're right, I was wrong for that. For all you know, the next words out of my mouth is going to be to him and say, hey, you did the same thing. Well, women do it. Man, come on. At some point, people, you just take responsibility for your actions. Stop trying to make excuses for why it's okay or why it ain't that big of a deal. Well, you said that women shouldn't be sluts, but men have 6 women with 6 babies with 6 different women. What they got to do with you sleeping with 17 dudes last month? That's got nothing to do with that. I don't know. I get a little frustrated with the excuse making. A little frustrated with the excuse making. But, you know, Monica, her story will be on. I think that thing debuts tonight. I'll definitely check it out. I liked the way they put the O.J. Simpson one together. That was pretty good. And because she's on board with this one, you know, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how much of the actual story gets put out there. 749-1230. That's the number to get on board. I got to talk a little bit about the young people in the city of Cincinnati. The young people in the city of Cincinnati. But before I do that, I got to take a break. It's the Afternoon Experience. I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'll be right back.
101.5 The Buzz and Walker Funeral Home presents the Black Business Spotlight. Nominate your favorite Black-owned business or entrepreneur to be in the Black Business Spotlight each month. The Buzz and Walker Funeral Home wants to acknowledge those businesses and individuals who are doing great things in the community, in their business, and providing a service we can all enjoy. Every month, 101.5 The Buzz will be showcasing and highlighting the Black business in the spotlight on our website, and Walker Funeral Home will recognize them live on the air with Lincoln Ware. For more details or to nominate a Black business for the spotlight, go to thebuzzcincy.com.
John waited 12 years. Elizabeth waited 3 months. Ben waited 1 year. Tyson waited.
Boy, that Mayosha is just an excuse-making machine today. She's an excuse-making wonder. Now she agreed with Monica about everybody knowing what you did in your 20s and so on and so forth. I didn't do very much in my 20s that I would be ashamed of. I didn't, give oral sex to,
No word in the English language is less convincing than probably. Are you sure we should get matching tattoos on our first date?
You are an excuse-making machine today. And then that Glenn says deadbeat parents should be shamed.
Probably. Can I get a mulligan?
All right.
Hey, are you sure you're okay to drive?
Yeah, I'm pretty sober.
And then Janice says a deadbeat dad
Probably okay.
is not taking care of your child physically, mentally, emotionally,
If you're drinking,
and
call a cab,
financially.
or a friend. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the
All
Ad
right.
Council.
Hey, did you guys know
Jerica says having 6 kids by 6 different men, maybe.
Of course, I knew that.
Hey, did you guys know that kids who read books have a bigger vocabulary?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Mhm.
Wow, jinx. Did you guys know that friendly children have more friends?
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
That's true. I knew that. Did you guys know that winter babies are better at music?
Everyone knows that.
Oh yeah.
Pretty obvious. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
obvious. Oh, hey guys, did you know that most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Jeannie says leave our 20s in our 20s. Well, is y'all out there holding y'all 20s and y'all don't want people to know? I'm just curious because you can talk about the stuff I did in my 20s. I wouldn't be embarrassed about it. You know, you can make good decisions in your 20s too.
Thanks for asking, but I'd rather not send you nude pictures. I'm camera shy. I already said no. It's against my religion. I'm giving my
Here, and I want y'all to understand what I'm trying to do. I don't want to talk about the coronavirus.
under my clothes.
I don't.
But hold on. Let me
Jerica says you were lame in your 20s. I'm still lame.
go get passed around.
By I guess y'all definition of lame. Because to me, lame is
I got out. I might never
making good decisions
be naked. I'm
and doing the right thing.
Even if you were all three Jonas brothers, I have a rash. I have nudophobia. I have lizard skin.
So yeah, I've always done my best to be lame. You know, except for when I smoked that weed that one time. But I was just trying to kind of figure it out.
When someone is pressuring you to do something you don't want to, how many ways can you say no before they get the message? Let us know at that'snotcool.com. Brought to you by the Ad Council. 1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating $1.
But I'm trying to not talk about the coronavirus. I do not want to talk about the coronavirus. And, yeah. I don't want to talk about the coronavirus. The Buzz of Cincinnati. Where's your talk station? It's the afternoon experience. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I am with you until 3 o'clock this afternoon. 513-749-1230. I gotta talk just a little bit about these kids here in Cincinnati. These kids here in Cincinnati. Kids in Cincinnati is wild, y'all. Y'all know I'm when we talked about the kids having to ride the regular Metro bus to school, and I was like, hey, just let them ride the bus to school, and, you know, it ain't that big of a deal. I still stand by that. But I've seen some videos, and the kids are on these buses straight wilding out. They are, I saw a video of like the entire bus was fighting. And it was a whole lot of females up in at least in the forward part of the video that I could see. But I could see that there was some males also in the back. But it was just a straight brawl. I happened to be driving through Clifton. I want to say it was one day last week. And traffic was so backed up, not just because of the daggone bike lanes, even though that didn't help. But as you go up, let me see, you got Calhoun on one side, and on the other side, is that McMillan or McMicken? Y'all know the street I'm talking about. You going up that street was straight gridlock because it was a group of girls out there fighting. And luckily, one of the girls' mothers were there. Now, typically, that's not always a good thing, because sometimes when the mamas show up, that's when it really get crazy. But in this particular case, the mama was grabbing, I guess, her daughter and trying to shove her into the car. She didn't want to go into the car, but she was trying to make sure she got in the car, and she was saying, "You not about to get out there and fight over no boy." So I guess this was all over a boy. But over there on the sidewalk, all hell was breaking loose. And it was just two groups of girls, and they was going at it. And they had, it was in the street, like I said, it was gridlock. And the thing that was crazy to me was there was a police officer in his vehicle in all the gridlock. Sitting there in gridlock. He was like maybe 2 cars behind me. So he could clearly see all of the stuff that I could see. And I was thinking, why don't you get out the car and do, you know what I'm saying? You got the authority. You got that badge and that costume or uniform, whatever you want to call it. We have given you power and authority. This is when you need to be using it. And I wanted to say to him, but just don't kill nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can go over there and you can talk to them and, try to de-escalate the situation, but don't kill nobody. So there was a part of me. I'm telling you, it's hard being a black person in the United States of America. Because there was legit part of me like, bruh, you sitting here. You can see what's going on. Go over there and stop it. But there was another part of me that was like, don't go over there, because if you go over there, you might end up shooting somebody. And that's the last thing any of us need, is for one of these young girls to get shot and killed on the street because they fighting over a boy. But I saw a video. I tried to get the video, and the person who showed me the video refused to let me get access to the video itself. But here's the conclusion that I came to. We're not stopping this stuff. We're not stopping it. We're not stopping youth violence. The young people gonna fight. And I guess we just have to hope that they don't kill each other. And some of these young people gonna shoot other people. And I don't know, I guess we have to hope they survive. There is no stopping this. There is no stopping this. But I came to the conclusion that this behavior, it's not just raw emotion, right? It's not just raw emotion. Oh, he stepped on my shoe. I'm real mad, so I'm gonna kill him. She slept with my boyfriend. I'm real mad, so Y'all, this stuff is being taught. This stuff is being taught to our young people, that this is the way that you react and respond to situations. And it's being taught to them from the time that they're little bitty babies. This overreaction is the way that we do things. And you hear people say, oh, they don't value life, and oh, they don't value this, and they don't value that. They don't think about that because they're not taught to think about that. Think about it. If your mama was wilding out in her, what y'all say, 20s? If your mama was wilding in her 20s and your grandmama was wilding in her 20s, so your grandmama probably taught your mama that wilding is what's up. And then your mama taught you that wilding is what's up. When you get in your 20s, you're going to be in your teens and 20s, you're going to be crazy out in these streets. Because you've been taught that this is the way to act. And I wish I had that video so y'all could see exactly what I'm talking about. Like, it was just a straight brawl on a regular city bus. And then you had normal people. I hate using terms like that, but y'all know what I mean. They wasn't the youth. They weren't acting crazy, trying to sit there and look and act dignified while a brawl was breaking out around them. But realistically, there was nothing that they could do because the aisles of the bus were totally filled with children, young people going crazy. I might have underestimated. Some of the reactions of some of our young people. And I was talking to a law enforcement official, and the law enforcement official was saying, look, this bus situation is we can't keep doing this. Because you sending different kids from different neighborhoods, and then they all end up on the same bus. And so then they all end up fighting each other. And I was thinking, are you trying to tell me that kids from Bond Hill absolutely can't be in the same vicinity as kids from Avondale without them fighting? Like, it's impossible? And somebody needs to do something. I'm not the somebody, but somebody needs to do something to address this with the young people. Somebody's gotta be able to say, hey, y'all, violence is wrong. Nobody's actually willing to say that to the young people. I hear a lot, hey, shooting is wrong. If you got a problem, just fight. Nobody's willing to say to young people, violence is wrong, and it's not the way to solve anything. I don't know. Let me get a break in. I'm up on a break. 749-1230. That's the number to get on board. I had to be honest. When I saw the video, I was vexed. I was like, that's crazy. I still think kids should be able to ride the bus to school. So I still stand by that. Kids should be able to ride the bus to school with other humans and other kids from neighborhoods that they didn't come from or that they don't currently live in. But seeing that did bother me. Got to take a quick break. It's the afternoon experience. I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'll be right back.
101.5 FM, 1230 AM. The Buzz of Cincinnati is your talk station.
From 6 to 10 a.m., it's the Russ Parr Morning Show. Getting your mornings right. Yeah, it's the Russ Parr Morning Show. From 10 a.m. to noon, it's the Lincoln Ware Show. Hey, if you want to stay in the know of what's going on around the
Oakdale Woods says there's a whole generation that has been and is being raised by Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. And YouTube. He says, and YouTube is young man's daddies teaching us through tutorials since the father has been removed from the home. Hold on. What do you mean since the young man's father has been removed from the home? Maybe I'm wrong. Who's removing fathers from the home? And back in the 60s, I'm not talking about in the 60s. 2021. Who's removing fathers from the home? If they haven't committed a crime. I could hear you saying, look, if he was out there and he committed a crime and he got arrested, he got removed from the home. But short of him being accused of committing a crime, who's actually actively removing fathers from the home in 2021? Fathers are not in the home, not because they're being removed, but just because they think they got other stuff. They got better stuff to do than raise their kids.
Always in season. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Lady K says it can go either way. The fathers choose to leave or the mothers push them out for BS. Then that's still not the fathers being removed from the home. Fathers are just choosing not to raise their children. That's a choice that people are making. Rensley says, you always fake naive. This is nothing new. You just now figuring this out. Figuring what out? Tell me what you're talking about. I've said a lot of stuff. I don't know what you're talking about. See, even though you're trying to be disrespectful, I'm still willing to actually listen to you and hear what you have to say. And I'm going to try to not be disrespectful back. I'm going to try. I can't promise, but I will try. Lady K says you also don't have to live together to co-parent. That's true. That's true.
Nephews, but the parents are the problem. They do not discipline their children in the right way. They cross them in the middle of the street, and then if you blow your horn, they got something crazy to say to you. And I see them let their kids throw paper out the window. The other day I said, litter bug, hey, the little girl cussed me out and her mother. So I don't know what we go. It's the parents. The parents wasn't taught nothing, and now they ain't teaching the kids nothing. That's just my opinion, the way I see it.
Now, you know what? Normally, Brother Black, I would look at the things that you said, and I would say, you talking about people throwing litter out the window, and you talking about people crossing the street, and it ain't that's not that big of a deal. But yes, that is, when you see that stuff, those little things turn into big things.
Exactly.
And those big things turn into bigger things. And if you got the parent okay with, we just gonna cross in the middle of the block, no stop walk, no crosswalk, and cars coming, but we just gonna walk out here together. Like, we run this and not stop for people, and we gonna litter together, and we gonna do, you know what I'm saying? If you are teaching your child those little things, yeah, those balloon into bigger things.
Right, you teach them the little things, and that'll help them in the long run. And I go to the store up here, put my lottery numbers on sometimes, come in there, and those young ladies have children. They cuss in front of them. They got their booty shorts on. They don't teach these kids nothing. That's
Hold on, they got their what?
Booty shorts.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I genuinely didn't understand what you said. All right. That's unfortunate.
And the kids, the children looking at them, and I like me and you and everybody come up, you watch your parents, and you watch the grown-ups around you. And they're not teaching them anything. I got grandchildren right now. I love them, but can't stand them.
Oh.
Because they mama fight all the time.
Oh.
She fights all the time.
Now, is this your daughter?
I beg your pardon?
Is this your daughter?
Not my daughter. My daughter, A1.
So she's
grown now. And my daughter don't fight, don't cuss, nothing.
So this is the woman that...
On the holiday, she cursed one time. I like to fell out my chair, but hell, she's 32 years old now.
So this is the woman that your son decided to have children with?
My son, I told him she was going to be trouble when he met her. And at that swimming pool up there, what is that, Rockdale, not Rockdale, on Golson, Recreation?
He met her at the swimming pool?
I beg your pardon?
You saying he met her at the swimming pool?
Look, I ain't said none of that. Let me talk, please.
I was trying to understand the story.
I told him when he met that girl that he was going to have problems.
Right.
And she fights all the time. That's all she do is fight. They live in that apartment building called it's on Rockdale. That's all they do over there is fight.
Don't be giving out their personal information like that on the radio. Don't do that.
Well, I didn't say their name. I said
but still,
they live
you
in that
giving their
building.
location. They're at don't do that. You can talk about them without telling people where they live.
Look, young lady. That's why I don't call, because you can't tell me what to do, because you don't even know who Billy D is.
What?
You don't even know who Billy D. Williams is. You can't. How you gonna tell me something?
What does me not knowing who Billy? First of all, I do know who Billy D. Williams is. But if I didn't, what would that have to do with you not wanting to? I'm confused.
Do you have children?
No, I don't. I'm 28. I have no children.
Stay in your lane then. I got children, and I didn't raise children, and I know what it is.
I didn't say nothing about your parenting. I just told you not to give their address.
And I was talking to Emanuel anyway. Excuse me.
Continue talking to Emanuel, Brother Black.
But hold on, I just want to know, what about the swimming pool?
Up at that swimming pool, Hirsch Recreation. They always starting fights up there.
Okay.
The lady was screaming on the radio about somebody coming up there to help her with those children.
Yes, she was.
And we give them too much breaks. We make too many excuses for them, and you can't do that. You got to discipline them children from day one. And number, I think another reason ain't none of them being raised in church. They don't know themselves. They know nothing about their conscience or anything. I'm a grandpa now, and I can speak. I'm not cursing or nothing.
Right.
I'm just saying, stop making excuses for
her. Brother Black, did you raise your children?
She is off the hook.
Brother Black, did you raise your children in church?
Yes, I did.
You went to church?
Did I go to church? Come on, bro.
What?
I was raised in church.
And you raised them in church. Do you still go to church?
No, I ain't been going.
What? Okay.
But I got my beliefs instilled in me. I'm still around. 69 years old. I'm still around. Never been to no penitentiary. Never did no robbing and stealing. So, yeah, I know it's instilled in me. My parents would not let me do some of the nonsense that I see these children do.
Well, maybe here, can I suggest something to you?
Well, come on with it.
And I do know who Billy D is, okay?
I know you must know. She didn't know. She didn't know who Billy D was. Anyway, and when I first talked to this lady, she was cussing. She didn't cuss.
Wait, what about my suggestion?
She told the Pharaoh to be quiet and back up. Pharaoh been calling there as long as you've been living.
Oh, my goodness.
I ain't like
what
you
about my
then.
suggestion?
I'm gone, man, because I'm getting upset.
Don't get upset. Let me give you a suggestion before you go.
Come on with it.
Maybe you should go back to church and take your grandkids.
That's true.
Yeah.
You got a point there. I don't want to be bothered with them sometimes because they won't sit still. They always touching something, but that's the parents' fault. I didn't touch nothing when I was going to church. None of, and I got 9 brothers and sisters. 5 girls, 4 boys. We didn't touch anything. My mother said, "Don't touch nothing." That's what she meant.
All right, but you gonna consider that?
I'll consider it. You right.
Okay.
I'll take your word for that. I'm not gonna bad talk somebody who's talking sense, but you making excuses. I ain't trying to hear it. None of that. And I've been calling here a long time too. It ain't too many men they call in there with the black, y'all. Not the Black Lion. The other brother, Black Tornado, dead. God bless his spirit and soul. Sister Dorothy say a lot of things. Y'all kick her off to the curb.
Who does?
I ain't trying to hear none of that.
Who is kicking these people to the curb?
You do sometimes.
What?
But you ain't as bad as you used to be.
Oh, my God.
You ain't bad as you used to be. I'm going to tell you how it is. But y'all kick that Lawrence guy to the curb all the time. He talk a lot of good sense.
No, he be talking crazy.
To kick
Stop.
Jimmy to the curb.
Stop. He be talking crazy.
You think Jimmy gonna take his job, don't you?
I think
Jimmy's a bad man if you listen to him.
Hold on. Did you just say I think Jimmy gonna take my job?
I said y'all must think he gonna take your job because he talk a lot of good sense.
All right. Have you been? This is just a question, not an accusation.
Come on, I'm gonna answer whatever it is.
Have you been drinking so far today?
I don't drink, brother.
Okay. What? Don't get mad. It was just a question.
Well, see, I didn't ask you. Have you been drinking?
I would answer. I would say no.
No, I don't drink.
Okay.
And I'll tell you another thing. I like your brother better than you.
Oh, my goodness.
Let me leave it alone. Because he got good sense. You try to put words in people's mouth. You play games. That's why I don't call you.
It was a question. Later. All right, Brother Black. Brother Black got mad. Don't be mad. You were saying some outlandish things. And so I just wanted to know if you had,
Can I ask you a question?
Tossed a few back. Yes.
Was my tone in any way disrespectful or condescending?
I don't know if I would say it was disrespectful or condescending. Here's what happened with that. People don't like people to tell them what to do. You can't tell me what to say. That's how he felt.
I was just looking out for sis. Like I wouldn't if I heard my child's father on the radio telling people where I live and where to find me and what street to look for my I would hope that somebody who is reasonable enough and smart enough to think maybe she don't want that out there would say, please don't do that.
Hold on, but his point is he a grown man and he can say what he want to say. He can say what he want to say.
But then we wonder why people get all flustered when you try to quote unquote shame them for stuff. Like it's stuff like that. You can't even tell somebody to not do something that don't make sense. Or they get flustered, they get upset, they get mad at you. Like, bro, I didn't come for your parenting. I just was simply saying, you might not want to put your granddaughter's mother's business out in the street like that. Why is that so But I guess again, cause I'm a young person and cause y'all don't care about nothing a young person got to say. I gotta shut up and be quiet and kiss.
No, see, honestly, I don't think it was that.
I really do think it's
no,
that.
honestly,
people just can't stand me, and I don't know what it is for.
Honestly, you didn't. If you would have said what you just said, I don't think well, maybe from him, the response would have been.
I mean, the topic of conversation was young people are disrespectful and wild and all that stuff, and I feel like that's where he got that energy from.
Two things. Number one, you don't know who Billy D is.
Yes, I do.
And that's exceptionally important.
How? Please explain that to me. As an old man, please explain how because I do actually know who that is. But if I didn't, how is that even contextual?
It's hard for me to explain, but it matters.
Oh my God.
And then number two, you see, if you would have said, it might not be the best idea to put their business out there, but you said, don't be telling their business. That's an order.
Okay. I will, you know what? I will take that under advisement and I will try to do better. Cause like y'all really be just like hating my guts and I really don't be doing nothing.
And brush up on your Billy D.
I just
brush up on your Billy D.
I'll brush up on my Billy D.
Mahogany.
When you tell me why it's important to brush up on my Billy
Lady
D.
Sings the Blues. Lando Calrissian.
I know who that is.
Colt 45.
Y'all do realize I was raised by a whole senior citizen, right?
Let me get this break in here. It's the afternoon experience. I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'll be right back.
WDBZ, Cincinnati, and Urban One Station.
The Billy D factor is exceptionally important. I don't know what. Brother Black was mad. He was mad. 1 second he liked me. The next second he didn't like me. Then he liked me. Then he liked my brother better. Then Jimmy gonna take my job and Lawrence be talking good sense. What? What? Oh my goodness. I had to ask him if he had been drinking when he said Lawrence be talking good sense and I'm scared Jimmy gonna take my job. I just needed to know. I just needed to know. Raven was trying to. No, Raven was doing. I understood exactly what Raven was doing. I understood she was saying you about to give out that information, and that might not be the best idea. I understood that.
I'm gonna put Miss D. I gotta get another call, so I'm gonna put.
Bad boy. No, you won't stop. Faith. 99.
We can 2 minutes after 101.5 The Buzz in Cincinnati. This is your talk station. It's the afternoon experience. I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'm with you until 3 o'clock. Until 3 o'clock. Here's what I figured out, Miss Mundy. When you can tell me the year that Billy D. Williams got that perm, when you can tell me the year that he started perming his hair, that's when you can tell me something.
Do you even know that?
Why are you trying to put it back on me? I'm telling you. I'm
Why
telling
do
you.
I need to know that, Emmanuel?
Why you always trying to? Well, see, that's what the problem with y'all. That's the problem with y'all.
That's the problem with y'all. Y'all don't like to explain nothing. You just want me to accept whatever it is that come out of your mouth without explaining it, and I'm not going for that.
When did he start rocking a perm? That's when you can tell me something. 749-1230. I really don't know what Billy D had to do with anything, but it was important to him. Mike, you're on the buzz.
How you doing, Emanuel Livingston?
I'm doing all right, Mike, and you?
Hey, my brother.
Yes, sir.
I usually don't call in either, but boy, it's just something bothering me.
Oh.
These lawmakers, man, I don't know what the hell is wrong with them, because, you know, they make laws with these guns now, permits for you to be able to carry your firearm. That's okay for some people, but all at the same time, man, I was at a hotel, and this little young boy, he had to be 21 because I know he had his permit. He up in the motel with his gun on the side hanging out. And I'm going to tell you, man, this is ridiculous, man. We have to put the blame where it actually lies sometimes. They talk about the gun violence now, and we have to put the blame where it actually lies, man.
Where is it?
With these politicians making gun laws and stuff like that, that's where it really is. How can you give these little young boys that's 21 years of age and got the mindset of a 13-year-old child with a gun?
Oh, no, wait a minute. I don't know that you can blame the lawmakers for that. Number one, if the young man was 21 and he had a gun, he has a right to have a gun.
Man, that's sort of ridiculous, man.
How?
Because some of these young kids, they of the age of being grown, but their mentality is not there at all, bro.
So are you suggesting that maybe there should be a test for when you're allowed to actually exercise your constitutional rights?
I'm saying, man, it should be a little bit older than that. And you don't all the time have older people with the mindset of being grown. But I'm telling you, man, this was ridiculous, man. This little boy had the mindset of a 12-year-old child, arrogant and talking crazy. Man, he got a gun on his side.
Hold on, Mike. What did he do? You were at the hotel. You saw him. What happened?
It was just his arrogance, man. And you could tell, you couldn't even damn near say nothing to him. He was just very arrogant, man, and talking stupid, man. I can't even begin to explain it, man. It was ridiculous, man, for him to have a gun on his side, man. And that really bothered me. And I said, man, this is half of our problem right here. We got these little young boys running, and then he got 4, 5 other cats with felonies probably with him. Man, they smoking weed, drinking. Come on, man. I'm like, wow.
Hold on.
Wow.
Mike,
I was trying to get the hell away from him.
But Mike, I want to be on your team. I want to be on your team on this one, okay? But I need maybe a little something more than I could tell just by looking at him he was arrogant. What?
No, it wasn't just by looking at him.
That's what I'm asking.
Conversation. We had a slight conversation.
Okay.
And it was just, I had to back off. Okay, brother, I just let it go. Because I seen how arrogant he was talking. He had a gun on his side, man. And I just thought it, and then, like I say, we got so much. These people play too many games, man. This is simple mathematics, man. Simple mathematics with some of this. And that's what I mean by, we have to put the blame where it actually lies, man. This is ridiculous.
But the blame, I have to disagree with you that the blame lies on the politicians.
I'm not saying all young kids are like that, but you got very few young cats, 21, 22 years of age, and got the mindset of really being that age and being responsible enough to even carry a gun. I just think it should be more of a higher age bracket or something. I just don't. I really didn't understand that. And we keep talking about the gun violence that's in Cincinnati, Ohio. Man, that's sad. That's sad, man. They play games with somebody else, man. They ain't trying to cut out nothing, bro. And that's what I seen then. That's what they let me know, man. They ain't trying to cut out nothing, man. You don't do stuff like that. And that's real.
But I still don't know what they did.
Hold on. It ain't all the time.
Hold on, Mike. Let me get it out. Let me get it out, okay?
Yes, sir.
Here is what I got from what you told me. You saw a guy who you perceived to be at least 21 because he had a gun. and you had a conversation with the guy and the guy was with some friends, and they may have been drinking or had been drinking and possibly smoking, and you talk to the guy. Y'all, maybe exchange some words. I'm not exactly sure what the conversation was, but he said some things that made you uneasy, and you walked away.
Exactly.
That sounds like a totally peaceful interaction between two grown men, one exercising his right to have, own, and carry a firearm that ended peacefully.
Right, because I got better understanding than sit there and carry on a foolish conversation because he didn't know what he was talking about, and just his act. I mean, he made you exactly right. He made me uncomfortable, so I cut the conversation off with it.
Okay.
And the only reason he made me uncomfortable because he had a gun on his side, so I knew,
Were y'all arguing?
No, not really. It was just, it wasn't really an argument. He asked me about where I was from,
okay.
and and I told him, oh, you ain't from there, and it was just the conversation. So I just cut it off because, like I say, they was intoxicated and stuff like that. But the real thing I'm really trying to press on, I'm like, why? Why are these? I don't feel like these young guys got it. I don't feel like they ready to have a gun permit just because they are the age of.
So what makes one able to carry a gun in your mind? If it's not being of age and having the constitutional right to do it, what should be the standard?
I just think mentality, man. I mean,
but that's subjective.
Ain't age.
Hold on, that's subjective. Hold on, Mike. What I'm telling you is I don't ever want it to be mentality because that's subjective. Somebody could easily look at me and be like, "Bah, I don't like your mentality, so you can't exercise your freedom of speech."
I understand what you're saying there, but I don't really know, man. But I'm telling you, I just can't see it like that, man. I mean, these cats running around here carrying guns on their side just because they are the age of being 21. No, man. And we talking about, we need to stop the gun violence and this and that. How? How can we do it?
All right.
Mike, thank you, man.
I appreciate your call, sir.
I appreciate you so much, man.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. 749-1230. That's Mike's story. And I think I understand what he's saying. I don't want to feign ignorance. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand how you can. Sometimes you can look at a person and begin to have a conversation with a person and be like, yeah, he's a damn fool. And if we keep talking, this is about to go bad. All right, I'm out. Peace. So I understand what he's saying. But you can't, which he agreed at the end. You can't have some subjective measure to say if you got the right mentality, then you can exercise your rights. We can't do that. 749-1230. That's the number to get on board. Let me get a break in. And when I come back, I'll get D in. I'll get Tyrone in. I'll get Glenn in. Is that Ted? Ted never holds on. And you, 749-1230. That's the number to get on board. It's the afternoon experience. I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'll be right back.
101.5 The Buzz, connecting you to information and events happening around the city.
All right. I don't know what happened to the stream, why it cut out. Something happened and it just cut completely out, so I had to reset my device here, and so all of my settings were lost. But we are back.
can roll down like a mighty stream. At a time like this. Now I'm licensed in Ohio.
Yeah. No, Paul. Just because he says gun violence in Cincinnati does not mean we have to play Kung Fu Mike. It does not. That's funny. Tony says cowards shouldn't carry guns, but they do. That's why innocent people get killed. I always hate it when people say that. That's not necessarily true. There are a number of people who carry guns for a number of different reasons. I don't think it makes you a coward to carry a gun and to use that gun to protect yourself.
While we still have a way to go before we're in the clear, we're off to a strong start. If you or someone you know needs their COVID-19...
Ronisha says, I think it's going to take the whole community to raise the village.
vaccines and testing for anyone 12 years old or older. For more information or to make an appointment, please call 5...
Lewis says, you coming to King, you better not miss. I just started watching The Wire. Like, I never watched it. I just finished season number 1. So, don't spoil it. Now, I know saying that, people about to start, oh, so-and-so get shot in this episode. Because y'all haters. But, no, I legit just start watching it maybe 2 weeks ago. Because Mrs. Livingston had watched it, and she was like, I think you would like it. And I was like, I'll try it. It's all right. Nikki says it's fantastic. It's all right. Season number 1 was okay. I think just one episode into season number 2. Jack says, if you liking The Wire, you could watch Juice. Apparently, I have to watch Juice.
Talk about where you'll meet in case you lose one another. And of course, don't forget to pack the dog treats. Talk to your family and make an emergency plan. Go to NYC.
Lewis says, he said cowards should not carry guns. You misinterpreted that badly. No, I didn't misinterpret it. You don't know who's a coward or who's not. And so the idea being that there are these people running around with guns, and if you're running around with a gun, whatever, you're a coward. I don't agree with that. I understand what he's saying. I just don't agree with it.
They'll push you to the edge of your sanity because that's what kids do. But this car is your territory, not theirs. Defend it. Who makes the pain?
Brother Black said them kids be at church touching stuff, won't sit still.
You did. That's who. And in here, your word is law. So
Alicia says she's not watched The Wire also. It's on her list.
Until you hear that click. Never give up. Until
Brother Black was mad. I didn't do nothing to Brother Black. I don't know why y'all be so mad? So cowards like George Zimmerman should carry guns. George Zimmerman has a right to carry a gun. I don't have no problem with George Zimmerman carrying a gun. I got a problem with George Zimmerman using that gun wrong. I don't have a problem with George Zimmerman carrying a gun. Daryl says, if you haven't watched The Wire, then you aren't black. Oh. All I did was ask some simple questions. I wanted to have an understanding of what he was saying. We started out, we was right there together. By the end of the conversation, I like your brother better than you because he got some sense. 20 minutes after 101.5 The Buzz of Cincinnati. With your talk station, it's the afternoon experience. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I'm with you until 3 o'clock this afternoon. 513-749-1230. That's the number to get on board. It's talking just a little bit about violence, gun violence here in Cincinnati, and really I was more talking about violence with our young people, but gun violence here in Cincinnati, it all kind of ties together. Here, check out this story. This is a story, I got this from Fox 19. 4 people, including one teen, were wounded in a shooting in Mount Washington on Sunday night. Police say the victims and the suspect got into an argument around 11:15 p.m. Now, I don't have to pause on these stories because I want y'all to pay attention to what I believe to be some of the more pertinent parts of the story. We talk about, for example, was that Mike got into, a conversation with somebody, and he recognized this conversation is going south. Let me walk away. He walked away. That was the end. And I think we all agree, Raven, do you agree that's the way something like that should go? Yes. Now that you know who Billy D. Williams is, see, it's that I don't. It really don't mean nothing. But
I knew who that was.
So that's the way it should go. That makes sense. Officers say they got into an argument, and the victims went inside the home. So there was an argument, and then some people walked away. They went in their house. And then the suspect fired several shots through the front door. And you can't tell me. And I'm going home. I walk in the house, close the door, and then shots ring out through my front door. An 18-year-old, a 23-year-old, a 41-year-old, and a 17-year-old were wounded. One was the 18-year-old was shot in the abdomen and is in critical condition. Someone else was shot in the arm and someone was shot in the legs, and a bullet grazed the 17-year-old's stomach, and she was treated at the scene. The investigation is ongoing. You can't even walk away from an argument now. We arguing, it's out of hand. I'm walking away. I'm going home in my house. You walk in, close the door, and then get shot. (749-1230). D, you're on the buzz.
Hey, how you doing, E-Man?
D, I'm doing all right. How about you?
I'm holding on. I'm doing okay. Thanks for asking.
All right.
Now, I was just going to ask you, but you just told me about, because I didn't hear about the shooting up there that you're talking about. So some people did get shot by some youth again, right?
I'm not sure who the shooter was.
No, I'm saying some youngin'. Oh, you don't know if he was young or old who done the shooting?
They don't say. Not in the story.
Let's assume that they 21 or less. Emmanuel.
Yes.
And I know that when you like to exaggerate a lot of things, and you do like to.
I just read the story.
You do a lot of sarcasm.
Oh my goodness! All I did was read the story. I didn't.
No. Let me finish.
All right.
And finish. The reason I'm saying that is, you talked about the buses and the children. They should be able to come from different neighborhoods and ride the bus and not fight or that kind of thing, right? Okay. Are these kids? Because I know that you being sarcastic when I say I told you a while ago about our black kids, and so you said white kids don't do nothing, and you started doing the thing every day about what white people do, the crimes they commit.
Yes, white people do commit crime.
Right, but you will be sarcastic a lot because I told you before that I'm one of the people that told you before that I don't agree with that. Now, let me go to the bus thing.
You don't agree that white people commit crime?
No, they do.
Oh, okay. Then I don't know what you're saying you don't agree with.
Let me finish. What I am saying, though, is the youth of our, our black kids and stuff. In one breath, you'll say, what do we do about they can't come from different neighborhoods and they ride the bus, they're going to fight, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. So when we hear all this all the time, I'm asking you, who's the first person when you hear about the shootings on the news? Who's the first group of people that you think did all this shooting is my point to you. And we never think that it's a bunch of white cats at some rally, maybe for whatever white events go on. I don't really know what events they crazy about, may go to and all that. When you hear about busing, the fighting, the violence, the this, the that, do you automatically think both ways that it's white and blacks doing that, or do you just know that it's black people, our youth, doing that? What does come to your mind as soon as you hear that, and they don't specify? Some white youth did this, or some black youth, they just say it was shooting over here at wherever. Do you think about white people doing it?
Yes.
You do. You don't just assume now, because it's been happening so much with our youth that they killing each other. And I'm not ragging on them. Something needs to be done. I was trying to, ask Raven, but I understand that she's got to she's got to take calls. But me and her had a conversation a couple of months back, and I had told her that I would be willing to go up to juvenile center and ask whomever in charge of that staff if there was any way that we could connect whatever youth is in there now that's done shot somebody or whatever, and he's sitting in that detention center over on Auburn Avenue, if there would be some way that we could try to connect the youth with talk radio or the news, things like that, because I know they don't indulge in those things. And maybe, just maybe, if they're outside of the parade and somebody's asking them, why did you do this? Ask the source. Not us guessing and us old and not knowing what's going on with these children. And I am willing to do that. I don't know if I can talk off air to one of y'all. I don't know, because I'm willing to go up there and ask the right people, and I'll find who that is. If they would be willing, or is it possible that any of those at-risk kids that's there can, we talk to them, and if so, what would you ask them, and what would you, where are you getting the ammunition from? Where are you getting the guns from? Why are you, and maybe we could get some answers, I'm willing to go up there if you guys, I don't know the laws and the ins and outs of how that could be established, okay? So, like I said, I do have a few people and all that I might be able to, get them connected to something that may help them. I'm not saying, that white kids is this and ours ain't nothing. I'm trying to say, look, whatever, we need to spearhead this and try and get these children under control, take these guns, because to me, the caller that called you and said, that there's nothing more dangerous than a child with a gun on his side. And I agree with that, because your mind ain't even physically developed enough for you to be responsible for this gun. You don't know how to shoot it. You're shooting old ladies at bus stops. You shooting children down on the playground. And you keep making, to me, Emanuel, you just cannot say,
it's not gonna listen.
In my opinion, you cannot say for nothing.
Like I'm not even here at this point.
Do you hear me? I'm talking to you.
Do you hear me? I'm talking to you.
I didn't. What'd you say? I'm sorry.
I just called your name a few times to try to get your attention.
Did not hear you. I'm sorry.
All right.
I hate when that happens too, and I'm listening.
All right. And I forgot what I was gonna say because you ignored me so hard that
I did not hear you for some reason.
The thought went out of my mind. But
okay.
If you
Mm-hmm.
want to get some at-risk youth to give me a call and have a conversation with them. I'm very much willing to have a call with some at-risk youth.
Okay, I'm going to do that.
But I will say what the gentleman said, Mike, is who you're talking about, that a young man the age of 21 should not have a gun on him. I don't agree with that. He has the right to do it, and I don't see a problem with us, black people, exercising our rights just like anybody else.
Okay, but that ain't what he said, but that's okay.
That is what he said.
He got nervous about this 21-year-old for some reason, and what he described, he probably should have walked away. I'm gonna tell you a story right quick if you let me about my neighbor. He down in Kroger, and him and his wife is down in Kroger.
All right.
And a man and his girlfriend, they're young, of course, was trying to vie for the same spot.
Parking spot you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
Parking spot, right. And he told me, he said, this guy was going to shoot me. He said when he pulled in to the space before the youngster did, he said the youngster got out the car, came up to his window, told him that he had to move out of the space and give it to him. So this guy I'm talking about is an ex-Marine, so he ain't really no, pushover or punk or nothing.
All right.
So he said, man, I pulled in and, da-da-da. Then he said as he was talking to the young gentleman, he said that the girlfriend got out the car.
Okay.
And came over and told him, the older guy, sir, will you please give this man this parking space, because I don't want nothing, going on. So she already knew, and then that's when, I'm going to just say Mr. B. That's when Mr. B said, he said, oh, my God, he didn't think it was that serious, but when the girl came over and begged him to move out the space, then he knew that he probably was going to get shot in the next few minutes if he didn't. So he said, D, I backed out, and I let him have that parking space.
Hold on, did he ever see a gun?
He said, yeah. The boy pulled the shirt up, and he saw the handle.
You didn't share that in the story. That's why.
I'm sorry.
That's why I asked.
Yeah. He said that's the first thing the youngin' done was told him, man, you gonna have to. And he said the shirt was up and the handle and all that is showing.
Well, here's D. I would say that is a sad story. But here's what I would say. You can scour the internet and find a number of stories about white people shooting white people over parking spaces. That's not a black or white thing. That's, some people get really upset.
I know. But see, here's where this is the problem I have with you and that.
What?
Is that I don't want to say that I ain't worried about them. I'm worried about our kids. That ain't even getting it with me no more. The problem that I'm having with you about it is that you'll say that, and they do. I mean, it's more of them than us. So, of course, they are doing all that.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm saying is, for some reason, if I go in a white neighborhood, I don't have the fear that I do if I go in some places that's black.
Yeah, that's 100% perception.
No, it ain't.
Yeah.
I lived all of this, number one.
No, it's still perception. Look, if you can admit to me, white people do the same stuff that black people do.
I said that.
Right. But when I'm around white people, I don't worry about them doing the stuff.
I ain't around them.
And when I'm around black people, I worry about them doing the stuff. That's
what
your
I'm
perception.
trying to say. Now, I didn't say that. See how you took your
That
narrative
is what you said.
That ain't what I said.
D, you said when I go to white neighborhoods, I don't worry about that stuff happening. That's what you said.
I'm not looking around just my subconscious then. I'm not looking around talking about no gunplay. But if I go down on Back Street down there, where that parky is down there, and think I can go down there and do whatever that normal people do, I got reservations. I might still go.
All right.
You understand my point in that? That's what I'm saying. This stuff is dangerous, and to start pointing out, what the white folks, they do the same thing. Yeah, they do. But if I saw, every time I look on the news, it's a bunch of them at some event or something.
All right.
I would say that.
All right.
One more thing, and if you let me.
I don't have time. I'm late for a break.
All right, bye.
All right. That's D, 749-1230. I didn't mean to put words in her mouth. But the words that I put in her mouth were the exact words that came out of her mouth. So I don't know how that works, but yeah. 749-1230. That's the number to get on board. Got to take a break. I'll be right back.
101.5 The Buzz and Walker Funeral Home presents the Black Business Spotlight. Nominate your favorite Black-owned business or entrepreneur to be in the Black Business Spotlight each month. The Buzz and Walker Funeral Home wants to acknowledge those.
That's her perception because she see it on the news. She just said it again. Because I see it on the news. When I'm around black people, I worry about it because that's what I see on the news, even though I acknowledge that white people do the same stuff. But I don't worry about it when I'm around white people. I worry about it when I'm around black people because that's what I see on the news. They've told you because that's what they report. So they have programmed you to be afraid of your own people. Am I making sense there? Without putting words in her mouth, because that is what she said. That is what she said. Oh, all right. I got to make a quick run. Enjoy some wonderful commercials. I'll be right back.
That's right. Gene Strauss will make it happen for you. 859-525-8001. That's 859-525-8001. Gene Strauss will treat you right. Jeff Weiler, Buick GMC, Route 18 in Florence, or online at JeffWeilerFlorenceBuickGMC.com. Remember, Jeff Weiler, Buick GMC in Florence, Kentucky.
Need help to come to you? Hamilton County's 513 bus brings free resources directly to those who need them most in our Hamilton County neighborhoods. The 513 Relief Bus provides direct assistance and help with on-site applications for cash, food, Medicaid, rent, utility help, employment, childcare, and free COVID-19 vaccinations. No appointments needed. For more info and a calendar of relief bus event locations, visit 513relief.org or call 211 to be connected to assistance. The 513 Relief Bus. Access support you need.
The following is made possible by Dad.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling all over it.
The dad joke. Corny, grown-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
Why do you have to be careful when it's raining cats and dogs? Because you might step in a poodle.
And kids that spend more time with their dads grow up to be smarter, more successful.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding.
And with any luck, funnier adults.
Why didn't the skeleton go to the dance? Because he didn't have anybody to go with.
Dad jokes rule. So take a moment to make a moment and give your kid a laugh. It's as easy as going to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
That's really funny.
This is the news. This morning, we are saluting the 2.2 million women who have joined in the war effort. They now make up 37% of the workforce, changing their role forever.
The prestigious Harvard Medical School is breaking ground today, opening its doors to new female applicants.
Today, little girls all over the world look to the sky.
All right. I am back. Oh, that was this. D doesn't like things put in her mouth. That is terrible. That is terrible.
More women die from heart disease and stroke than men, even though it can be prevented. Make a change at GoRedForWomen.org today. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the American Heart Association's Go Red for Women. When it comes to prescription medications,
Lewis says the difference is black people hate themselves way more than white people hate their own people. I don't know that that's true. I don't know that that's true.
out of the wrong hands by storing them in a lockbox and disposing of medication properly. Finally, understand your prescription information. Don't be afraid to ask your pharmacist and doctor for help. And if buying prescriptions online, be sure to use GIP's accredited pharmacies. Learn more at awarerx.org, a public service from the National Association of Boards of Pharmacy Foundation.
I twisted these words. Talk station, the afternoon experience. I think parents should be involved in the lives of their children, both mother and father, if they're responsible. But I think a lot of irresponsible people have children, and they're involved in the lives of their children. They're teaching them the wrong stuff. Everybody, I want fathers involved. And I do too, but I want them to teach the kids the right stuff. And it's difficult to say, okay, if you one of them fathers, just leave the kid alone. But I would rather you, if you feel like you got to teach your kid to be violent, to overreact to situations, and a whole lot of nonsense, I would rather you just be absent. There's a lot of people whose fathers are not in their lives who end up good, responsible people. They might be a little mad because the father was. They can get some counseling for that because you wasn't there. They can get counseling for that. But if you are a parent and somebody says stop blaming fathers, well, absent fathers play a large role. So I'm not going to pretend like that's not real. But that's why I'm going back and forth between a bad parent and a bad or absent father. Because it can be, a lot of mothers are teaching their sons and daughters horrible things, giving them horrible perceptions of the world, of who they are, of how they should act. That's real. 749-1230. Tyrone, you're on the bus.
Well, how you doing, E. Livingston? How you doing, Ray? And welcome back, E. Livingston.
I am well, and thank you.
What happened to the "Don't worry, be happy"? Wasn't that the script that you wanted to hear this morning?
What?
The "Don't worry, be happy." Let's just be happy.
I want everybody to be happy. Yes.
You had that conversation yesterday on the radio. Like, tomorrow, I want everybody to just call in and just be happy.
Okay.
You know, and that was your conversation. So I was looking for everybody to call on and say, "I'm just happy." I mean, don't worry about fights, don't worry about guns, don't worry about people, don't worry about 60 miles an hour going down the road. Just be happy.
Well, I don't know that that's realistic. When I'm saying be happy, I'm talking about just in your regular, ordinary, everyday life. You can be happy, but you can still have concern with other things that are going on in the world.
Wow, this must be a confused day, a frustrated day on the radio from what I've heard, because I don't see any people happy, even in their own world, even in their own, just by themselves. I mean, just being in general. What happened to that day?
Are you happy?
Oh, of course.
All right.
My God, yeah.
All right.
Oh, yes. Oh, I'm happy every day.
All right.
Every day of my life.
All right.
But that's all I got to say. Even have a great day. But what happened to the "Don't worry, be happy"? All right.
All right, Tyrone. All right, that was Tyrone. He want to know what happened to being happy. 749-1230. Queen, you're on the buzz.
Hey, E-Man.
Hey,
yeah. So happiness is a fleeting situation regardless of what condition you're in. But African Americans as a whole, and particularly those who call themselves black, you can be happy about the fact that you're leaders, and we don't have any leadership. Only sellouts. But you can be happy in the fact that they're going through the same thing you're going through when it comes to taking your dignity. And that's how the system is going right now. These so-called white people you keep presenting, it's only one race, and that's the German race. The German race needs the guns. The Africans aid and abet the Germans more than any other race on this earth.
Did you say?
So they perpetrate the guns.
Queen, help me understand how you come to the conclusion that there's only one race, and that is the German race.
I said there's only one particular race that's aided and abetted by the so-called blacks, and that's the German race. On the radio, every day you talk about your demise, about these white people. There's several groups of white people. One you was enthused about was the Viking race. What? And hey, E-Man, if you ain't got anything to do, you can watch a series called The Vikings. It's a young man by the name of Terrence Farrell. That's the series you should watch. It's more realistic, and if you look at Dark Shadows, if you love Dark Shadows, then this will pique your interest because it's the same. But it's the history of the Vikings, and I'm telling you, they go to all the worlds, Africa, the Spaniards, and I'm telling you, you will see their relationship to us. And I'm not going to tell you what it is. But if you don't recognize it, then you still perpetrating this. You're in denial, because I don't feel no racism with the Viking race. But when I go around the Germans, like man is a German, and the governor, he's Irish. He might have some Italian in him, the wine. But they also aid and abet because they're weaker. Now you got the ACDC. 3CDC out here, and you got the brothers and the sisters crying, who's able to develop cities and whatnot. And then you got the school, your children who can't get to school, is taking 3 and 4 hours to get to school. And these are perpetrating crimes on particularly African people, and it ain't gonna stop. But I tell you what, those developers in Cincinnati got an opportunity to not only develop the ghettos around the United States, but they can get schools in the district where the African kids have to take 3 and 4 hours to get to school.
Queen, I'll be honest. I don't know what the heck you just said. You talked about the German race versus the Viking race, and ACDC versus 3CDC, and I honestly, I don't.
Listen, you asking a lot of questions, and you going back and forth on the various issues, and I'm catching up with the issues. Okay, just give me a second. Let me let you know what's going on now.
All right,
All
now.
right. Yes, we are at the bottom, so-called bottom of the totem pole.
Stop. Pause. Hold on. Stop. Queen. Queen. Hold on. Queen. I'm
trying to get you to understand.
Stop. Hold on. Stop. Queen. Please let me help you. Help me understand. Okay.
All right.
You are gonna say something, and then I'm gonna repeat back what I heard, and then you'll correct me if I heard something wrong. Okay. So we're gonna take it piece by piece. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Okay, but let me just say this first. You and Lisa Ware are asking those black people who answer your call you to ask man or DeWine a question about what they're gonna do.
No, that was Lincoln.
It's not about asking,
Queen.
it's about the man.
Oh my goodness, Queen. That was Lincoln. That's a different show. I'm not asking that question. All right.
Okay, but your people come on and they still have that issue, so I'm just addressing it.
Okay, wait till tomorrow. Call Lincoln and address it with him, and
listen. If you just let me get this out.
No, because I'm not talking about that.
Okay, well, I'm trying to see what it is, the question you're trying to ask me, so I can make it clear to you, E-Man.
I just want to understand what it is that you're trying to say.
Okay, let me understand this. What is it that you want to know from me at this point?
Nothing in particular. You called me.
Well, then let me address my issue. Okay? It ain't going to take long. I'm saying that what's happening to African and so-called black people right now is the robbing of our dignity.
By whom?
Okay? You understand that?
Who's robbing?
You go to
Queen.
In your community.
Queen. Oh my God. Queen. I promise you, I want to have do you know how to have a conversation?
If you stop interrupting.
That is not how to have a conversation.
Do you understand
oh my goodness, Queen. This is not how you have a conversation. Me asking you questions this is a conversation where you say stuff and it's not me interrupting you. It's actually us
I asked you point blank what it is that you want from me. You said nothing. Then I asked you, well, let me get my point across. And then I simply said, this is what's happening. You are losing your dignity right now.
And I'm asking you, who is taking our dignity?
Who's taking that? The so-called people you call white, and that's the German. There's no other race that's doing it, but they all aid in the bed. When you go to the store, you liable to get disrespected. When you go to the library, you liable to get disrespected. And the happiness is about this is that the so-called leaders, I mean from Maxine Waters to Kamala Harris, they're all getting the same treatment based on the German fear of not only getting out reparations, which will cut down their monopoly.
Hold on,
okay?
Queen.
Okay?
Queen.
But it will also eliminate
I don't want to hang
guns.
up, Queen.
You understand? Only the African...
okay, I'm sorry. I just can't keep doing it. I can't keep doing it. Look, if y'all can't if you can't talk and listen at the same time, I promise y'all, I shouldn't have to say your name 12 times and scream it before you realize that somebody is trying to jump in and maybe ask you a question to clarify a point that you're making. Come on, y'all. That's not how conversations work. Am I late for a break? Let me get a break here. I'm gonna hold a seminar. I'm going to charge $25 a head just to teach people how to actually have a conversation. It's the afternoon experience. I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'll be right back.
101.5 FM, 1230 AM. The Buzz of Cincinnati is your talk station. Let's go! From 6 to 10 a.m. It's the Russ Parr Morning Show. Getting your morning right. Yeah, it's the Russ Parr Morning Show from 10 a.m. to noon. It's the Living Ware Show.
Hey, if you want to stay in the know of what's going on around the tri-state, the nation, and the world, check me out.
German is not a race.
Noon till 3, it's the afternoon experience with Emanuel Livingston. This is Emanuel Livingston, and if it's happening in Cincinnati or around the world, we're talking about it. From 3 to 6, it's the Reverend Al Sharpton, keeping it real. This is Al Sharp. You can experience radio on a whole new level.
I really can't believe that people can't talk and listen at the same time. If you stop interrupting me, I'm trying to be a part of the conversation. Yo says that wasn't cool, hanging up on her. Oh well. Oh well.
The IRS can garnish your paycheck, levy your bank accounts, even take your home or business. Scary stuff. Thankfully, there's a new way to get right with the IRS. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, an IRS program created specifically to help taxpayers struggling due to the pandemic. This powerful program provides new...
Yeah, no, when I have conversations with people, it's like regular people, I don't have these issues. I don't.
America's #1 tax relief firm, Optima Tax Relief. Optima will stand between you and the IRS, fighting to help stop aggressive...
I keep telling you, I start talking, and then I might say something, and they're like, are you saying so-and-so? And when they start, I typically stop talking. Like, I can hear them say it. Like, are you saying that the so-and-so? And I stop talking, and I listen to them, and they, might ask me a question. And then I jump in, and I'm like, yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying that the so-and-so did so-and-so. And then they're like, I don't agree with you. The so-and-so didn't do so-and-so. I know that the so-and-so didn't do so-and-so because I saw so-and-so do that. And then I jump in and I say, when did you see so-and-so do that? Because I saw so-and-so do so-and-so. And they say, see, you wasn't there when so-and-so. But every time somebody start talking in that conversation, the other person stops talking and listens to them. They ain't just like, you interrupted me. It's like, it's a conversation.
Because one trip to the forest can spark a world of difference.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you.
E-Man, you talk over people all the time. No. And even if you pay attention, when me and Raven is talking, Raven starts talking, and I listen to Raven, what she's saying, and then I jump in, and Raven will stop talking, and she'll listen to what I'm saying, and then I'll be talking, and then she jump in, and I stop talking once she start talking, because I want to hear what she's saying.
This is a test to find out if you know it all when it comes to children. Time starts now.
When I'm talking to somebody on the air, and I'm saying my stuff, and then they jump in and start talking, pay attention. I stop and I listen. Now, somebody would say, I stop and I'm listening because I'm looking for something to disagree with. No, I stop and listen to hear the nonsense that they're about to say. No, I stop and I listen to hear them. But then once I realized, like, no, you got it all wrong. That's not what I said. This is what I said. This is what you heard, but this is what I actually said. And I'm not like, you putting words in my mouth. No, I understand you heard something that I didn't say. And so let me clarify for you. I said this. Oh, I thought you said so-and-so. Right. You heard it wrong. Minutes to the top of the hour. 101.5, the Buzz of Cincinnati. We're your talk station. It's the afternoon experience. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I am with you until 3 o'clock this afternoon. 749-1230. That's the number to get on board. Let's go back to the phone. Sandra, you're on the Buzz.
Hi. Thank you for accepting my call.
Thank you for calling.
I have 2 points, and I'm going to kind of try to tie them into each other.
All right.
First, I wanted to thank Raven for calling me Miss Sandra.
All right.
She gave me a handle. And I listen a lot. I never called in. So one of my issues is, which happened again today, the issue that she has with Mr. Jimmy. I heard her say she was raised by a senior citizen.
Uh-huh.
So myself as a senior citizen that has been raised back in the day where anybody that was old enough to be our parent or had some kind of position had to have a title. So whether it was Auntie, Miss, Mr., or whatever, they deserved a title. So with her calling me Miss Sandra, not knowing whether I was a senior or whatever, I appreciate that. Again, my issue is with her and Mr. Jimmy. He calls in way more than I do. And so I like to make the proposal that because we don't know who's of age to get a title, a handle, that everyone should get a handle unless they tell you they don't need one.
Yeah, I reject that, but I appreciate the suggestion.
Okay. I'm not going to even ask you why you reject that. Again, I'm thankful that she did give me a handle because I do deserve one, and as I think Mr. Jimmy does as well.
All right.
My other point was the gentleman that called in about the young person with the gun on his waist or wherever.
Okay.
The issue with that is you talked about the incident that happened this weekend where someone walked away and went into their home and the person still shot through the door at that person. So when he was speaking, what I thought about is a lot of the young people with guns that hot-headed, whether they're on drugs or been drinking or whatever, their thing is about respect. So with him walking away, depending on who that person was, they could have looked at that as, oh, he disrespecting me. He walking away from me while I'm speaking to him or while I'm speaking, period. And still decided to shoot him. So I understand his concern as far as these young people with guns. So when you say he did the right thing by walking away, he did. However, if you walk away and go inside your home and someone still decides to shoot you, what's the difference?
What do you mean, what's the difference?
What's the difference if, you walk away while you're having a conversation and if you walk away into your home, if you're dealing with someone that's high-headed with the gun? I know it's the law, but I understand what he was saying, why he felt the way he felt. I feel that same way. My feelings as far as guns is concerned, if everyone has a gun, we're back in the days where it just depends on who can draw their gun the fastest.
Okay.
So I don't want to debate it. That was just something that was on me. And like I said, this is my first time calling in. And I just wanted to voice my opinion and to offer something to Raven because she was saying she feels like she's being hated. I don't think that's the point or the issue. She seems like she's a very intelligent young woman, and she has to be to have the position that she has. But I do think because she's a young woman, sometimes things that we say is more in our tone than in our intentions of what we're saying. I just think she needs to tone it down a little bit. And I don't see where it would be any harm with just giving people a title. If they ask for it, just give it to them. I mean, that takes away from feeling like it's being disrespectful. And I think that's probably the reason why a lot of people feel the way they feel towards her.
Okay.
Because they feel like she's being disrespectful.
Will you give me a title? Or will you respect my title?
I respect your title.
So, Lord.
Well, I know you said you.
Lord.
Yeah,
Lord. Lord Emanuel.
If that's what you want, I can give you that, Lord Emanuel. I don't have a problem with giving a person a title, especially if you're carrying yourself in that manner. Then who am I to say if you feel that's who you are? That's who you are. That's just like people change their names. Once you change your name and you say that's what you want me to call you, that's what I'm going to call you.
And what would you like me to call? I unreject your suggestion. Now I wholeheartedly accept it. What would you like me to call you?
Miss Sandra, even though I'm probably not old enough to be your mother, but I can accept Miss Sandra until I find out that we're close enough in age. I can say, you don't have to call me Miss, but that's my opinion to be able to say that to you, to tell you that.
Well,
but I don't want you to just automatically put me in the same category as you. If I'm old enough to be your parent.
Well, I accept.
Or it's a professional situation.
Well, I accept Miss Sandra, and you accept Lord Emanuel, and we gonna be cool.
Yes, we will.
All right. Well, thank you, Miss Sandra.
Thank you again, and I hope Raven can accept my suggestion or my proposal. I'm not gonna suggest anything. And again, I don't hate her. I just sometimes I do think it's in her tone. Like the people say, it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
All right. That's Miss Sandra.
I can accept how she feels in her opinion about the way that I come across to people, but I would just like to say, y'all don't care nothing about how Emanuel and Lincoln be talking to y'all, but it's always something when it come to me. It's always like let's be real about it. Lincoln be cussing y'all out sometimes. He will get on here and flame the hell out of all his callers, and y'all don't care nothing about that. But as soon as I say something that you disagree with or that you don't like or that I come from a perspective that you don't like, it's always an issue. And I'm just getting to the point where I don't care that you don't like me. Like, I'm going to continue to be as respectful as I feel like being. I'm naturally a respectful human being, and I know that about myself. I don't ever do things out of malice or from a disrespectful or hateful place. And I'm not prone to disregarding people's advice or suggestions, but a lot of y'all just don't like me. And y'all confusing that for me being disrespectful. And I don't care. I don't care anymore. If you think I'm disrespectful, I'm just disrespectful.
They don't like me either. They won't call me Lord, Your Highness, none of that stuff. It's terribly disrespectful. Let me get this break in here. It's the Afternoon Experience. I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'll be right back.
WDC Cincinnati, home of the Afternoon Experience with Emanuel Livingston and Keeping It Real with Al Sharpton. Weekdays on 1230 AM, 101.5 FM, the buzz of Cincinnati.
Rilo says, Emanuel always slapping callers around. I'm never slapping callers around. I'm always respectful to people. And if you've been listening today, you gotta see how many people be disrespectful as hell to me. I don't care. That's where you got to be. I'm comfortable being me, Emanuel Livingston, the king of talk. I know who I am, and whether or not people like me, that does not define me. So I don't even know if I can raise them any higher. You know, the higher you raise them, the less you care. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. I'm like Mr. Mims. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Hey. And I do not slap people around. All I do is ask y'all questions. And y'all be mad because I asked you a question. If you wrong, I say, you're wrong.
Oh, and fish sticks. They do love fish sticks. Fillets I get, but sticks?
And that says people used to hate E-Man. He really don't care. No, people didn't used to hate me. People still do. So what?
Can teach me how to cut the crusts off bologna sandwiches. Oh, maybe we can compromise on mac and cheese. Can you make that with brie? Everybody likes brie, right?
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to push your food around their plate. Call 1-888-200-4005 or visit adoptuskids.org for more information.
E-Man acknowledges when he's respectful, but plays dumb when he's disrespectful. I'm never disrespectful. Minutes after 101.5 The Buzz in Cincinnati with your talk station, the afternoon experience. Got a lot of things on the table. I'm not sure what's happening. We got a lot of things on the table. Facebook, they apologized for labeling a video of black men as primates. Yeah, there was a video of a group of black men, and Facebook says they have this AI, this artificial intelligence, that analyzes the videos, and then they ask, do you want to see more videos like this? Well, their automated prompt based on this video asked their viewers, do you want to keep seeing videos about primates? Yeah, that's what the Facebook asked. You watch a video about black people, and then when it's done, do you want to continue to see videos about primates? What the heck? Well, Facebook says, look, hold on. That is an unacceptable error. That's an unacceptable error. They say, while we've made improvements to our AI, we know it's not perfect, and we have more progress to make. We apologize to anyone who may have seen these offensive recommendations. It wasn't us, it was the computer. They blame the artificial intelligence. All right, if you say so. 749-1230, that's the number to get on board. Lawrence, you're on the buzz.
Damn, man, it looks like I'm the only one who ain't got a beef with you and Raisin. Hey, Emanuel, ask these good sisters who call it in, or all these brothers who call it in. Have y'all taken a shot or something? What's up with y'all? I mean, Emanuel, this is kind of a wild day, man. I'm listening to D. Normally, D don't sound like that. You know, wow, what's up with it? And then this other sister came behind picking a fight with Hey, Raven, have a thick skin. I mean, do you? I mean, it's all right to have a difference of opinion. And a lot of people who you have a difference of opinion,
where they gonna feel you being disrespectful. But if you be honest with yourself and in your heart of hearts, you know that you haven't been disrespectful, then they can take it and shove it, you know. But with that being said, Emmanuel, let's talk about this gun thing. Here it is in Texas. Everybody, the law is you can get a gun if you're 18, and everybody can pack, you know, open without a permit or whatever, you know. And it's not a lot of people carrying it in the open. I carry in the open. My son do. Sometimes he's concealed. But the point I want to make is, ain't nobody down here killing each other. Ain't nobody doing that ratchet stuff. If somebody walk away from you and you still shoot them, you're a coward. You're a punk. You know? And somebody need to deal with you real hard and deal with your relatives. Because, like you said, Emmanuel, somebody had to teach these little hellions, you know, to be like
somebody needs to deal with you and your relatives? What does that even mean?
It's like this. I raised my kids around guns, raised them with guns. They're responsible with guns. They don't go out picking fights, arguing. They don't go out pulling guns on nobody. They don't go out shooting. So if you're going to have guns and you're not going to raise your kids properly and you're not going to be responsible, then you need to be dealt with as well as your kids, because everything is learned from at home. You learn your good manners. You learn everything at home. And if you're not going to teach your kids to be responsible, good people, so you got a problem, you know, because I have a problem with this abortion and all of this whole conversation. You say you're against abortion.
Hold on, Lawrence. I'm not talking about abortion. I'm a man. You're not allowed to talk about abortion. You're a man. So let's skip that.
Okay, now to show you how idiotic that is, I heard somebody else say something asinine as that. It takes two to make a baby. If a woman can have a baby by herself, you doggone right. Ain't no man or nobody has no right to say something.
Lawrence,
what?
The rule is, on this show, if you're a man.
You're going to say a rule. Okay.
If you're a man.
Talk about it no more.
Yes, you're not even allowed to have an opinion about it.
Hey, well, I ain't mad at you, brother, because down here in Texas, things are a little bit different. We got so much opportunity down here that black folks not taking advantage of. We got so much wealth and so much everything, and I'm looking at these people, and these blacks down here, these hood rats, they shooting each other, doing stupid, and I'm saying to myself, where are all the millionaires and billionaires in the black community? Here's a question I've been waiting to ask you.
All right, what's the question?
As a black man in America, do you feel that the blacks who have made their wealth off the backs of the community and other people, do you think they owe something to the black community to reach back and help repair what's wrong in our community? Do you think they owe us something, Emmanuel?
Do they owe? No.
Black people. Black billionaire millionaires.
No, they don't owe us anything. Would it be
Didn't most of the rappers make their money in the drug game, and then now they're legal? I wasn't Jay-Z and a whole bunch of these other ones in the drug game made their money out the hood. Now they done transitioned. Now they still rich. You don't think they owe us nothing?
I answered that. No, they don't owe us anything. I think it would be the right thing to do just for people who have the means and the opportunity to help other people. It's a good thing to do that. But if they choose not to, they don't owe us anything.
Well, then, if that's going to be the attitude, and if that's going to be the case, then nobody should criticize.
I don't know what happened. Something happened to his phone. Nobody should criticize. All right. 749-1230. That's the number to get on board. No. Black people don't owe, rich black people don't owe other black people anything. Don't owe them any. I mean, even when I look at that whole situation with Dr. Dre, who is worth estimated $800 million, does he owe his daughter some money? No, he doesn't. Should he help her out? Yes. Yes, he should. Does he owe it? No. So if that man don't even owe his own daughter, when I say owe, that means, at least in my mind, you have an obligation to do it. should you? If I'm a billionaire, I don't know about a millionaire, because $1 million ain't as much money as people like to. I mean, it sound like a lot of money. I got $1 million. I mean, for me, it is a lot of money. But in terms of the whole community, me having $1 million, that ain't no lot of money. Ain't a lot of money. But, you know, maybe a billionaire, a multi-billionaire. Okay, maybe $800 million. I can help some people out. You know what I'm saying? I can help some people out. But I'm not obligated. All right, 749-1230. That's the number to get on board. Got to take a break. I'll be right back.
101.5 The Buzz, connecting you to information and events happening around the city and around the tri-state. Here's what's buzzing this week. Hey, this
Sweetest Day just got sweaty with the Sweetest Day Love Affair happening Saturday, October 16th, featuring Keith Sweat, Belle Biv DeVoe, Bobby Brown, Genuine, and Silk at the Heritage Bank Arena. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.
Lewis says, hell no. He already fulfilled his obligation. That's why he doesn't owe her anything. Should he help her? Yeah. Yeah, he should help her. But he don't owe it to her.
Idle free. It'll help us all breathe easier because it all adds up to cleaner air. Your to-do list keeps getting longer, but you're smart. You combine your errands into one trip, so you go out.
Tina said he shouldn't even help her. Why? Why would you say a father shouldn't help his daughter if he has the means to? It'd be different if he was struggling too, and you know what I'm saying, all that. But if he's got the means to, why would you say he shouldn't do it? And that's different than saying he's not obligated to do it. C says, the joke's on you, E-Man. They're ignoring you on purpose.
What will become of your business after a disaster? Nearly 2/3 of businesses aren't prepared for an emergency, and 40% of businesses that experience a disaster never recover. Make an emergency plan now before it's too late.
Lewis says all the people that thinks he should help her should donate to her. I don't agree with that. I don't even know how you're tying that together.
.gov/business. Brought to you by the Federal Emergency Management Agency.
Tina says because after 30 years of helping her, but she can't help herself. She is helping herself. She's got a job. I mean, y'all acting like she's just sitting homeless on the corner holding a sign. According to her, and I guess I got no reason to not believe her story, she's working 2 jobs at least. She works at a factory, and she uses her vehicle to work as it wasn't Uber, it was yeah, something like that. DoorDash, I think that was what it was, DoorDash. So she got 2 jobs. So it's not, if you told me she sits on the corner holding a sign and she's asking Dr. Dre to help her, then I'd be like, yeah, he done helped her out. She just want to be lazy. She ain't doing nothing. But if she working 2 jobs and she's saying, I need some help, and you sitting on $800 million, I think you should probably help her. Again, I'm not saying you're obligated to help her. I mean, he chooses not to. I don't know that makes him a horrible human. It makes me question him as a father. Where's her baby dad? I don't know where they are, but what they got to do with her father? If my daughter had 16 baby daddies and she said to me, Daddy, we homeless. I'm working 2 jobs and I just can't seem to figure it out. And I was sitting on $1 million. I would say, all right, little girl, come on over to the house. Y'all can stay here until we figure this thing out. And we would figure that thing out. Period. I wouldn't be like, well, where are them 16 dudes that hit you? No. I don't care. What? Bring this, you and them 16 babies. Come on over here. We gonna figure this out. My grandbabies are not gonna be homeless. We gonna figure it out. I don't know how we gonna figure it out, but we gonna figure it out. That's just me. I'm not Dr. Dre.
Would your business survive a disaster? Nearly 2/3 of businesses.
Lewis says you don't know what kind of money that man have. You're just speculating. Actually, I said his wealth is estimated. When I say his wealth is estimated, that means that there are people who estimate wealthy people's wealth, and they say that. No, I don't have access to his bank account. So I don't know if it's fair to say I'm speculating. Maybe the people who estimate his wealth are speculating, but that's the worst argument I've ever heard to what I'm saying. Jeannie, she said the kids are staying with friends. I mean, think about that. I'm sitting on $800 million. And my grandchildren can't stay with their mama because she sleep in the car. So she got to send them to her friends for somewhere to stay. Me? Send me the grandkids. You could, even if I don't like you, you can stay homeless. Just send the grandkids over to my house. I got it. I got them. Minutes after 101.5 in Cincinnati. Your talk station is the Afternoon Experience. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I'm with you until 3 o'clock. 749-1230. That's the number to get on board. Let me get Andre in here. Andre, you're on the buzz.
Hey, Emanuel, can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you.
Okay, first off, I want to start off, Raven, girl, after Emanuel just got done saying he hate when girls when they're wrong and they start blaming other things. That's the first thing she ran to. Link can do this, Link can do that. Why don't you just accept that you disrespecting Jimmy the Vet after him saving
I don't think she disrespected Jimmy the Vet by not saying Mr.
She used
Jimmy.
to call him Mr. Don't even go there.
There is nothing disrespectful about calling a man named Jimmy
but
Jimmy.
She used to.
It don't matter. There is nothing disrespectful
and he want her
about.
to call her
So
Mr.
So I want her to call me Lord.
Well,
she
I
won't
wanna be
do
called
that.
Jesus Christ.
And if I don't do that, I'm disrespectful?
No.
All right then. What are you talking about?
What I'm talking about, if you start calling somebody Mr. or Mrs., and then you all of a sudden you stop because Emanuel says tell her to stop. Come on,
But why
man.
do y'all assume that? First of all, why do y'all assume that I'm some sort of puppet and Emmanuel got his hand up my ass telling me what to say and do? Like, that is not what happens here. I'm a whole ass grown woman. I do what I want to do. I say what I want to say.
Start screaming and getting all aggressive.
Because you're coming for me right now, Andre. How am I not supposed to be? This is the stuff that gets on my nerves. Y'all want me to be so quiet and docile and nice and kind and super sweet and y'all, it's like y'all want me to like walk on eggshells, and I'm just not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. That's not what I'm here for.
How you walk on eggshells?
Andre.
Yes.
It's not disrespectful to call you Andre.
It's not disrespectful to call you Emanuel either.
Right. So what are you talking about? It's not respectful to call that man Jimmy. That's his name.
First off, you know it's respect. The respect thing is Mr. and Mrs. Don't even go there.
No.
He knows
no.
that.
No. You're wrong.
It is. It always been like that. That's how life goes.
No.
It always been like that.
No, it hasn't.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Mr. Mrs. It always been like that's respect.
No.
What you talking about?
No, you're wrong.
Whatever. That's
All
just
right.
that. Anyways, I didn't call for that. I just wanted to point that out there. As soon as she got a chance to step up and be like, you know what, my bad, she instantly start, Link can do this, they do that. Like, come on. But anyways, I called to speak about the youth in the city.
All right.
I'm outside. I'm at the basketball courts. I'm at the clubs. I'm at the bars. And I don't know why Raven is the favorite millennial. She ain't even outside. But that's beside the point. I see these guys out here, and I see what's going on. What's going on here is, people just high strung. A lot of people need to get out and be social. People need to be socially polished. That's what's going on.
Okay.
Are you mad at me now?
Why would I be mad at you? I
okay.
actually it sound like you mad because nobody calling you their favorite millennial. It's all right.
I'm not that.
Kind of sounded like it a little bit.
No. I don't care about that. But I am outside, though. I should be. But that's.
I don't even know what that means.
Well, you get called that every day. What you talking about? You don't know what it means. Why you?
What does outside mean? What are you talking about?
He just told you he be at the club.
At the bar, the basketball court.
So in order for me to be everybody's favorite millennial, I got to be out here in the club doing all the wild stuff that y'all think young people supposed to be doing.
You just now found out to ride a bike, girl. Come on, calm down.
What they got to do with that?
What are you talking about? Right
hold on. All right, Andre. You ain't outside.
Just clowning.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Somebody just got to learn how to ride a bike. Go talk about their favorite millennial.
All right. Andre, you are the favorite outside millennial.
Well, thank you, Emanuel Livingston.
I'm sorry. If you're a millennial, shouldn't you be calling me Lord?
Nah, I ain't calling you no Lord unless you call me Jesus.
See, now you're being disrespectful.
Well, you call me Jesus. Stop being disrespectful to me.
See, you're being disrespectful. It don't make sense. Nobody got to call nobody Mr. this and Miss that.
In all honesty, when I first started working here, I was doing that. Every time I picked up the phone and I was talking to somebody, because, I could tell that most of the people who call this show and who listen to the show are my elders. So I was doing that. I was saying Mr. and Miss. But so many people got on me for doing it that I just stopped. And I guess now that's the issue. Pick a side. What do you want? Do you want me to revere you with respect, or do you want me to make you feel like an old person? Because that's what the complaint that I was getting was. Don't call me that. That's my mama's name. Don't call me that. That's my daddy's name. What do you want from me? What do you want from me?
But get what they want from you. You be you. Because people are never satisfied.
That's why I say I don't care anymore.
It's true. People are never satisfied. Look, they don't recognize they got a king in their midst. A king. A damn king. And they still be being disrespectful. If they not going to respect a king. I don't even have to finish the statement. You already know. Trennis.
What's going on?
How you doing?
Pretty good. Hey, she should just be happy she light skinned. She all right. She
what?
All right.
Why do y'all keep bringing up this light skin stuff?
Just be happy. You light skinned. You can be all right. You be mad for no reason.
All right.
But listen, what my thing is with the shooting, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why everybody act like they wasn't young, 16, 17, 18? Just probably busting on folk too. You know what I mean? You might just got lucky you ain't kill nobody. You understand what I'm saying?
Hold on. Let me put Trennis on hold. Let me give him a chance to get his mind right for just a minute, because he just suggested that when you was 16, everybody was shooting people. And I know he didn't really mean that. He caught up. So I'm giving him a chance to breathe a little bit, get his heart rate back down, get his mind right. We're going to take a quick break. It's the afternoon experience. I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'll be right back.
101.5 The Buzz and Walker Funeral Home presents the Black Business Spotlight. Nominate your favorite black-owned business or entrepreneur to be in the Black Business Spotlight each month. The Buzz and Walker Funeral Home wants to acknowledge those businesses and individuals
a king
in the community in their business and providing a service we can all enjoy. Every month,
Alicia says I'm the king of her A. No, Alicia, I am not the king of your A. I've never even seen your ass. And I don't. That makes me uncomfortable. So, no, Alicia. No.
like a mighty stream.
At a time like this.
Now, I'm licensed in Ohio, the federal courts, including the United States Supreme Court. And I know who will make a good judge like Attorney Elizabeth Ty.
At a time like this.
I've known Attorney Elizabeth Ty all my life. And she
Alicia says, see how I twist stuff. I did not twist it either, Alicia. I've never touched it. I've never touched it. I didn't twist it. No twisting. Nothing. No twisting. Nothing.
At a time like this. I'm Attorney Elizabeth Ty, and I'm asking for your vote for municipal court judge on November 2nd.
Paid for by the committee to elect Democrat Elizabeth Todd for municipal judge.
If you're a single man under the age of 35, you'd probably like to know what the ladies are looking for on an online dating site. A guy who had a few drinks and later got pulled over for buzz driving. See, that could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. And doesn't a guy who's back living with his parents but calls them my roommates just scream Mr. Right?
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
We are strong. We are resilient. And we will
Broken Wing says she just saw something. I'm assuming you're a she. I'm sorry. I just saw something truly ghetto. Okay.
anxious or afraid, but there is hope. Reach out to someone. Connect with your friends.
A spray painted minivan with a small AC unit hanging out the side window. I don't even know how that's possible. Look, if the AC in your car don't work, you got to do what you got to do. And if you can get a small AC and wire it in, hey, who could be against that? Oh, you should have took a picture and posted it. Oh, just in my head, that is hilarious. In my head, that is hilarious. I can see it in my head. Whew. Oakdale Woods says, start sticking up for your co-host more. She does a great job of sticking up for herself. She doesn't need me to stick up for her. But I'll stick up for her.
At 866-687-6322 or visit mortgagehelpnow.org. That's mortgagehelpnow.org. This has been a public service from the NFCC.
Car crashes don't happen slow. They happen fast. In a crash, there's no time to check if your child's in the right car seat. Don't think you know. Know you know. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Broken Wing said she was trying to get a picture. Minutes after 101.5 The Buzz of Cincinnati. For your talk station, it's the afternoon experience. I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'm with you until 3 o'clock. Of course, at 3 o'clock, Al Sharpton. You don't want to miss Al Sharpton. And look, I got to tell you about this. 101.5 The Buzz and G Square bringing you the Face Off Upfront contest sponsored by the Ohio Media School. We have your chance to win front row seats to the Millennium Tour to see the hottest show of the year. All you have to do is head over to the OMS campus located at 4411 Montgomery Road, Suite 200, located in Norwood, Ohio, or head to the BuzzCincy.com website to enter for your chance to win. Don't miss the opportunity to sit front row at the Millennium Tour. But that's not it. You'll also be a featured Ohio Media School correspondent live on air with Lincoln Ware to recap your experience at the show. For more details, head over to thebuzzcincy.com. From the only station hooking you up with front row seats to the Millennium Tour, 101.5 The Buzz. You want to be front row at the Millennium Tour? Just go to thebuzzcincy.com or, of course, 4411 Montgomery Road. And you'll get to be on air live with Lincoln Ware. Can I enter? I'm just reading that. Can I enter the contest? I had to see if I can get Angel in here. Ask her if I can enter. It's been my dream to be live on air with Lincoln Ware, where he got to treat me with respect. 749-1230. That's the number to get on board. All right. Let's get Trennis back in here. Hopefully he's breathed a little bit. Trennis, you're on the buzz.
Unbelievable. You understand what I'm saying? I forgot I was talking to Cincinnati. So you might not, because you grew up in Kearney Heights. But I grew up in Cali, and so it was a little different, right? But it's the same concept. If somebody comes by, and back in the day, right, everybody talks about, you know what I mean, oh, we used to fight. No. You know what I mean? You used to fight with a whole bunch of folk, you know what I'm saying? This group against this group, it wasn't really no fights. And so then guns came along, Tech 9s came along, Tech 22s, whatever came along. Then you start doing drive-bys and shootings or whatever. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. One of your homies gets shot, you want to go shoot the person who shot them. You know what I mean? It's the same thing that was happening in the 80s. It was happening in 2021. It's just not happening in Cali or Chicago or New York, you know what I'm talking about, or Philly. It's just happening like in all the cities now because, you know what I mean, it's 2021. I don't understand. And you don't know what I'm talking about.
All right. Is that it?
What? You don't got nothing to say?
No, sir.
I ain't making no sense?
No, sir.
Unbelievable.
All right. 749-1230. I ain't wanted me to argue with him. I'm not arguing with him. I won't do it. I won't do it. You get mad because I won't argue. Let me go back to the phone. Sully, you're on the buzz. Hello? I think I hear you try to talk, but the man got you. The AI got you. All I hear is...
You there?
Yes, I'm here now.
Good. My fault. When it comes to that respect thing y'all was just talking about, does that go for these guys that want to be girls too?
Respect.
So I don't have to call them a girl and I'm not being disrespectful no more?
Well, respect goes for everyone. And as far as I'm concerned with that, you call people whatever you want to call them. Your level of respect for them or their desire of whatever it is they want you to call them. You got to make the decision, I guess, for yourself, whether or
I'm just
not.
going by what you just said.
What did you perceive?
According to what you just said, then I can call somebody whatever it is I want, and I'm not being disrespectful. Just like, he asked to be called something and was refused.
Who asked to be called
that's not
something?
Disrespectful. So wouldn't that go the other way too when it comes to these confused people?
Sully, who asked to be called something?
Wasn't it, I might have misunderstood when I jumped on the station. Wasn't Mr. Jimmy wanting to be called Mr. Jimmy?
Jimmy hasn't been on, number one, at all today. People are speaking for Jimmy. So that's number one. Number two, it doesn't matter if you want someone to call you Mr. Sully, and I don't want to call you Mr. Sully. I just call you Sully because that's your name. That doesn't mean that I'm being disrespectful to you. Like when I go in and get on the bus and I see the bus driver's name say Ted, I don't say hi, Mr. Ted. I'm not being disrespectful if I just call him Ted.
Okay.
So I don't understand all of this
if
nonsense.
I walk into it, if a customer comes into my business, well, I wouldn't use that one because that's a business.
Well, even in business, you don't have to call them Mr.
And there's a customer behind me, and I turn around and look, and this is clearly a man.
All right.
And I say, "What's up, dude?" And he gets offended, says I'm disrespecting him because he wants to be addressed as a woman.
Okay.
But I know you're a man. I'm not disrespecting you. And I'm not going to be made to
how
be
do
a
you
liar
know?
Either.
Wait, Sully, in that situation, how do you know it's a man?
in some of these cases, you can tell. Come
How?
on.
How do you know?
Well, one, you see sometimes the way they're dressed, you can see a big old Adam's apple sitting there.
That could just be a
Men ain't
woman
built
with a
backs
bump
as-
on her
I mean,
neck.
women ain't built with backs as broad as billboards.
That's not true. That is
No,
not
it
true.
is true.
No, it's not. I could show
Unless
you
she
some.
is a bodybuilder.
I could show
your
you some
typical
pictures.
average woman does not look like no man, and she's never going to be built like one.
I don't know that that's true. I could show you some pictures of some women who are not trans or whatever, and you wouldn't know that they were women. So my question to you is, in the scenario that you brought up, you turn around and you see a human being that you perceive as a man, and you say, "What's up, dude?" or "Excuse me, dude," or whatever, and they say, "I'm a woman."
Yeah.
Number one, you don't know. They could actually be a woman. And number two, you don't have to address them either way. Just
Okay, let's
don't
just-
address
all right.
them. And that's
What
not
if you know that the
disrespectful.
what if you know the person and they changed, and you know it's a man?
Look,
Am
Sully.
I still am I being disrespectful by addressing him?
Look, Sully.
With the title that I know he is.
Sully. You can do whatever it is that you want to do. Okay? You fishing because you want me to co-sign your racism or disrespect or phobia or whatever. But look, you do you. You
Okay.
know if you
Yeah.
mean it disrespectfully. You know that. You don't need me to tell you that.
Oh, whoa! Say that last part again.
You know if you mean it disrespectfully. You don't need me
You're
to
right.
tell you
You're
that.
right. You're right on that. We all know that.
All right.
All right. All right. Now, on the one other little final note, one little comment, off topic of that a little bit.
Okay.
Miss Raven, the only problem I have with the way she just popped off on them and the fact that she tried to use you and Lincoln, she ain't got no clout yet. She ain't put her time in. She ain't put her hard work in and got the years that you and Lincoln have.
I don't know if
that entitles you to some more.
I
you
don't-
got to earn your stuff before you get to go jumping on people.
I don't agree with
That's
that.
the way I feel about it.
I don't agree with that. I respect that that's how you feel, but I don't agree with that. The first day that I walked through these doors, I had a right to my opinion. I didn't have to earn a right to my opinion. I
But
automatically.
I hear you sounding like one of these entitled millennials out here that expect everything to be handed to them right off the rip. You walk in the front door, you're at the top of the ladder, you get top pay, you get top respect.
I'm a
No,
human.
you got to earn your way through a business.
No, I'm a
Earn
human.
yourself to
I'm
the
a
top.
human, bro. Just walking in the door, being born gives me the rights to things that every other human have the rights to. I'm born with certain inalienable rights. All right?
On your job?
Period. So I didn't walk in the
All right.
door.
I mean, if people can come in there and just be at the top of the level, why ain't she getting the same pay as you did?
We're
Why
not
ain't she
talking about
demanding that?
pay.
Give me the same pay as Lincoln.
That's not what we're
Or I'm
talking about.
walking. I deserve it.
That's
I
not what we're
earned
talking
it.
about, though.
I was born.
That's not what we're talking about, though.
But that's the way she acted. Because as soon as she said that, she popped right off and tried to, instead of defending herself, she wants to drag you all in because you all do this. You all earned that right.
She's got a right to her opinion.
An opinion is yes, but earning the rights to something is different.
That's what we're talking about. Her opinion. She's got a right to it.
Huh? I mean, if that's the way y'all want to run your business.
Oh no, so you would prefer us to run our business to say when you walk in here, you no longer have the right to have your own opinion.
I never said that.
That's what I'm
That's
asking.
not what I'm saying.
That's why it's
I'm
a question.
talking about the way you can talk to people on your job. You don't you don't start in a company thinking that you're right at the top of the ladder and you're equal to everybody else. In
She
there
doesn't
because you're
think
not.
that. She doesn't think that
You
at all.
You earn level.
She doesn't think that at all. But if
I know that's a millennial for you.
but-
They think as soon as they start a job, they expect top pay, full benefits, the whole kit and caboodle that, that normally you work towards.
All right, Sully.
Good one.
I appreciate your call.
Have a good one, sir.
All right. Yeah, no, it'd be different. She's doing her job. And if I invite her on the air to share her thoughts and her opinions, I expect her to give me her thoughts and her opinions. And if she does it in a way that rubs you the wrong way, you'll be all right. You'll be all right. 749-1230. That's the number to get on board. I don't understand y'all. I really don't. I kind of do, but I really don't. Let's see. George Floyd protester who fired at Minneapolis cops acquitted. I'm doing this story as a celebration because this guy should have been acquitted. This guy should have been acquitted. Yes, he fired shots at the police. I know that sounds bad. That sounds bad. He fired multiple shots at cops during a George Floyd protest in May of 2020. All right? And then he surrendered. But it's all about the details. It's all about the details. So this is what happened. He argued he was acting in self-defense. He was minding his own business, and he says that unmarked white van pulled up and started shooting. An unmarked white van pulled up and started shooting. Now, he had a handgun. And so, because the unmarked van pulls up and just starts shooting, he pulls out his handgun, believing he was under attack by civilians. And he starts shooting back, which sounds like a reasonable thing to do. I can't think about it. You out protesting, or a protest is going on and you're minding your own business. And out of nowhere, just a white van pulls up, screeches, tires open, and people just start shooting. Pop, 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 pop. You got a gun on your hip. You dip, maybe trying to dodge some bullets, and pull your gun and you start firing back. That's exactly what this guy says happened. He did not know that they were police. And then once and that they were shooting rubber bullets. He was not aware of that. Because rubber bullets, when they coming at you, I would imagine they look and sound like regular old bullets. Somebody shooting, somebody shooting. The bullets don't have tags hanging off of them that are visible to the human eye that says, I'm a rubber bullet. I'm a rubber bullet. So he doesn't know this. And then the police finally identified themselves. Police. Once they identified themselves, he stopped shooting, put up his hands, and he turned himself in. Stopped shooting, put up his hands, and he turned himself in. And of course, they beat his ass. You know, if you see his mug shot, his face is all beat up. They beat his behind. But he surrendered. He faced 2 counts of second-degree attempted murder and multiple counts of assault, as well as other charges. The verdict came in. He was found not guilty on all charges. Good. Because he shouldn't have been found guilty. Just a reasonable person could not have known. This is at least what the jury felt. A reasonable person could not have known that this was not just some group of thugs firing into maybe a crowd, trying to harm and injure people. So good for him. I'm glad he got off. I'm glad he was acquitted. Now, he didn't shoot any police officers. Luckily, all the shooting, he didn't hit anyone. Which, that's a whole different story. Like, maybe he should take some lessons to learn how to be a better shot. Not that I'm saying I wanted anyone to get shot, but if you firing off a whole lot of shots at a group of people, if you decent, you know. But I am glad that he was acquitted on this charge. Very glad that he was acquitted on this charge. 749-1230. That's the number to get on board. Oh, by the way, you can listen to Anita Baker music now. Yeah, I remember, was it like in May or something, like earlier in the year, Anita Baker came out, and Anita Baker said, hey y'all, don't stream my music. She was going through something with the record company and all of that kind of stuff. And, you know, she was like, don't stream my music. I don't own my masters and I'm not getting paid off of this music. Don't stream it. Well, now she owns her masters. She got everything together. And she said, look, now that I own my masters, go ahead, y'all, and stream my music. Enjoy. So good for Anita Baker. Good for Anita Baker. And now you can go back and listen to Sweet Love. Y'all know I love Anita Baker because I can't think of a single Anita Baker song that's a man-hating song. I can't think of a single one. All the music that I think of, she's talking about love and how she loved her man, or how love is good and how things are good and how she want love to be good. Or even there's the one song where she looked back on the time that they shared and she must have been blind to think that she'd find somebody who loved her better than him. But it might come as a surprise, but loneliness opened her eyes. And now she would do anything to get him back. That's a good song right there. That's why I like Anita. 749-1230. That's the number to get on board. Got to take a quick break. It's the Afternoon Experience. I'll be right back.
101.5 FM, 1230 AM. The Buzz of Cincinnati is your talk station.
I was about to say that's a woman and know her place, but people would be mad about that.
From noon till 3, it's the Afternoon Experience with Emanuel Livingston.
This is Emanuel Livingston, and if it's happening in Cincinnati or around the world, we're talking about it.
From 3 to 6, it's the Reverend Al Sharpton. Keeping it real.
This is Al Sharp. You can experience radio on a whole new level with news, views, and opinions that matter to you.
We're talking all day long. Weekdays on 101.5 FM, 1230 AM. The Buzz of Cincinnati, your talk station. Do you love talking to people? Does helping people and delivering quality customer service make you...
I really can't. I can't think of a single Anita Baker song where she hating on men. She ain't asking them, can you pay my bills? And ain't nothing going on but the rent. No romance without finance and all that kind of stuff. Anita just like, look, I love my man. And I done made some mistakes, and I apologize to him, and I hope he take me back. I love my man. My man loved me. Love is good. Life is good. I'm happy.
What if I told you you can worry less about the new strands if you have the vaccine? The COVID-19 vaccine will help.
Valley Bell says, show your shirt. It's a simple shirt. I had to kind of losers and suckers. On the L, that's the Confederate flag. And on the U, I had to look down because looking at the screen, everything is reversed. And on the U, it's the Trump flag because they lost. The Confederates lost. And if you rolling with this guy, he done suckered you. You a straight sucker. He called American military men losers and suckers. But these are the real losers and suckers.
I'm probably okay to have one more drink before I drive home. I'm probably okay. I open the window to stay alert. Probably okay. I just popped some gum in my mouth.
Step out of the car, please.
And I've respected Anita Baker's, like I haven't streamed any Anita Baker since Anita Baker said, don't stream my songs. I haven't done it.
Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council. You're so annoying. Stop copying me. Mom, tell her to stop copying me.
I remember when we first started talking about it, when she first announced that she wanted people to stop streaming her music until she got her master's, and you was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. To brush their teeth.
Yeah, because I like Anita Baker's music, but I haven't. I haven't listened. I haven't streamed a single Anita Baker song. So now I can start back streaming Anita Baker.
A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives and the Ad Council.
Oh, it was back in March. It was in March when she said it. She says, miraculously, I have outlived all of my artist contracts. They no longer own my name and likeness. And by law, 30-year-old masters are to be returned to me. Unfortunately, they're going to make me fight for it. She says, I'm prepared to do that. Please don't advertise, buy them, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, now she owns them.
Kids will spend 20 minutes listening to songs like this. How about 2 minutes to brush their teeth? Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. For fun 2-minute videos to watch while brushing, visit 2min2x.org. 2 minutes, twice a day.
Alicia says, the only song I like of Anita Baker is I Just Want to Be Your Girl with Chapter 8. All right. Well, you got a right to not like her music. Everybody has their own taste. But I like Anita Baker.
Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The Buzz is everywhere. On your radio at 12:30 a.m. 101.5 FM. On your smartphone through the Buzz app and streaming online. Go to thebuzzcity.com.
3 minutes to the top of the hour. 101.5 The Buzz of Cincinnati. We're your talk station. It's the afternoon experience. Y'all know my time is almost up. Al Sharpton is up next. But before I go, let me get Betty in here. Betty, you're on the Buzz.
Hey, Emanuel, how are you?
Hey, Betty, I'm fantastic. And you?
I'm doing good. I'm just wanting to know what the older people have against the younger people. So I'm listening to the show with my mom, and I'm like, what in the world? But I really just wanted to call and tell Raven that don't put your head down with all the criticism and stuff like that. It's kind of hard to navigate because, like you were saying, some people want to be called Mr. and Mrs. and some people don't. But it's just, I don't know. So I guess that's the question I have for you, Emanuel, is what did the young people do? Because I heard somebody say that they don't like millennials because they think they run the show and all this, that, and the third.
Well, there are a lot of millennials that do a lot of unsavory things, but I don't know that that's what people were talking about. So I don't think people don't like young people. People see a lot of younger people doing a lot of things that they shouldn't be doing. People just calling people out on it.
Okay, I can respect that, but I think some of those things, like you said, are learned from the older generation. So I think, you could hold younger people accountable. At the same time, it's good to hold the generation that raised them accountable as well. Well, that was it. That was all. That was all I came to call about.
All right. All right. That was Betty. That was young Betty.
By the way, I wasn't in the studio when Sully was talking and making the comments that he made about me thinking that I should just walk in the door with all kinds of clout and all. First of all, I don't care nothing about clout. At the end of the day, if it's not translating into some dollars, I don't care nothing about it. But it ain't that I want clout or that I feel like I deserve the same sort of, response as Lincoln, who's been in the game for 40-some years, does. It's just that, and it's not that I was even trying to throw him or Emanuel under the bus. I was making a comparison. A lot of the times, the stuff that y'all can't stand that I do, y'all enjoy when they do it, and so it confuses me.
They don't like it when I do it.
Yes, they really do. They really do. Like when you be on here getting on different people about different, they be loving it.
No,
they be loving it. They be loving it.
Do you not be looking at the comments?
Yes, and they all the laughing emojis and I tuned in at the right moment. They love it when you do that stuff.
They be hating.
I simply be picking. I be making jokes and picking at Lincoln in the mornings when I be running his boards, and people hate when I do that.
They hate when I do it, and when Dave Stinger does it. It's not just you. I'm out, y'all. Peace.
WDBZ, Cincinnati, and Urban One Station. Minority controlled and operated, and serving the African American community for over 40 years. We are 101.5 The Buzz, your talk station.
Incorporated, our affiliates, our subsidiaries, or our advertisers.
All right. That's right. Brother Black don't like me. He like my brother. David Herring being exceptionally disrespectful to Dave Stinger and Rilo as well. But Rilo's not. He just don't know who Dave Stinger is. Dave Stinger comes in. He produces the first hour of the Lincoln Ware Show, and he does other stuff out there on the board on that side over there. So he's just a guy who works here. Just a guy who works here. He didn't know who Dave Stinger is. Dave Stinger does not like necessarily to be on air or any of that kind of stuff. He will from time to time, but he doesn't like to. He doesn't like to. But I will say this, and Diane says Dave is your twin. I don't have a twin. But I will say this about Dave Stinger. He's an intelligent guy. And again, with a staunch, unblemished record of heterosexuality. I'm comfortable saying he's a handsome guy. Dave Stinger is a handsome guy. Because, you know, people might think I was jonesing for Dave Stinger. I have to let them know. I've been heterosexual my whole life. I've never... That's not true. I'm secure in a whole lot of things. I still, you know, I'm concerned that I want to send the right message. Just like I'm not anti-vax. I don't want people to say that I'm anti-vax because I'm not. Even though I'm secure in the fact that I'm not anti-vax, I still don't want people to get the message that I'm against the vaccine. So I'm very careful to let people know that I'm not. Right. And so I have to let them know. It's the same way with my heterosexuality. I have to let people know before I say something that somebody could try to spin into, you know, sounding like homosexuality. I have to let them know I got 50 years, a strong 50-year record of staunch heterosexuality. Unblemished. And that Dave Stinger is a handsome man.
And the John Lewis law is that law. We'll change that. And we're back to states' rights when it comes to voting. And believe me, states' rights is not where...
Constance, thank you. Thank you, Constance. Oh, excuse me, people. Oh. I did not get an opportunity to complain about Simone Biles because I have a complaint about Simone Biles. Simone Biles came out and she tells her critics, I can't hear you over my 7 Olympic medals. And to me, number one, it's not true. You wouldn't even be addressing them if you couldn't hear them. But number two, that sounds so arrogant. You don't have to be arrogant, Simone. You don't have to do that. You can just, I don't care what y'all think. I hear what y'all saying, but I don't care what y'all think because I know me. But I can't hear you over my 7 Olympic medals. I don't like that. That sounds so arrogant.
For profit over people, you're going to continue to see erratic and dangerous climate.
Yeah, I didn't like that. And I like Simone Biles. I support it, and I still do support her. I wish she would not have said that. And then that, it rubbed me the wrong way.
We also are dealing with COVID-19. These cases are ticking up all over the country with this Delta variant. And, I was reading over the weekend
Jameen? Is it Jameen Harris?
Flexner report. And very interesting. That's why I encourage people in my morning thoughts to study, read, take more.
Alicia says, we can't hear you over your king of talk. See, that's just it. I've never told anyone I'm so above you as the king that I can't hear you. You know what I'm saying? I've never done that, ever. And I don't think I would.
He did a book-length landmark report on medical education in the United States.
David says, Simone is not perfect. However, the critics have been out of order for some time. Oh, I agree. And I'm not criticizing her for, I just didn't like that portion of what she posted. I didn't like. Now, again, I'm not saying she don't have a right to say it. She's got a right to say it. She's got a right to, her thoughts and her opinions and all of that kind of stuff. She's got a right to it. It just rubbed me wrong. Somebody else might look at it and be like, yeah, go girl, you tell them. Do the neck thing. But for me, I didn't like it.
Medical care, less resources, and less training. Therefore, it was no accident.
MLW Reese says everyone does not have to follow when they go low, we go high. Well, I agree with that. I don't follow that. But I didn't like it.
Subject to disproportionately having
I don't like it.
Diseases and viruses of that time. Well, if you fast forward that 111 years, we still have.
All right. See you tomorrow. Have a wonderful evening. Is it raining out there or something? Oh, they got that blind closed. I was about to say, because it looked dreary out there, but they got the blind closed. Okay. MLW Reese says she knows her choices and no neck thing needed. Now, there's been a lot of neck thing. There's been a lot of neck thing. A lot of neck thing. And some people, like I said, some people down with that. And they got a right to do the neck thing. I didn't like it. Simone been treated like a queen. She's the GOAT that can't take constructive criticism. Now, some of this stuff is not constructive criticism. Some of this stuff is not constructive criticism. Some of the things that people were saying about her was just flat out hatred. And when I say hatred, I don't mean hate like, oh, he a hater. Hatred. I mean, like, for real hate. Like, who is this little N to think that she can hatred? Some of the stuff has been that. Tony says Simone is not quite the GOAT yet. What would be your definition of being the greatest of all time? She's like, I think legit the greatest of all time. I'm not even sure that that's debatable. She's the most decorated gymnast, male or female, ever.
The nurse in, or even the car driver that drove them there, they can be fined $10,000. so the Department of Justice is saying how they got to weigh in because
She does things that no other male or female have ever even attempted. She does them with ease.
so they can
I don't,
vote it out.
if she's not the greatest of all time,
Over the weekend,
how are you defining greatest of all time? Or unless you're saying, here's where I can get with you, all right, Tony. If you're saying time is not over yet. So once time ends, then something has to look back over the vastness of what was time to determine who was the greatest of all time. So if you're on like some kind of, that sound like some existential type stuff, then okay. But a lot of people consider someone the greatest of all time based on right now, this is the best person to have ever done it. And I don't even know that it's arguable to say that she's not the best to ever do it.
One of the things is not to just stay away from them.
Oakdale will say, how can you go a whole show without eating? No snacks.
Cuddling.
I'll be too busy talking.
I know you've been through a lot. That's
I don't know.
Doing this. We all been through a lot and make different choices. They need to be
Purple Pro said, never seen any hate for Simone until she quit. People don't like quitters. Okay. Tony says, my bad. I was thinking y'all was talking about the tennis player. Oh, you're talking about Sloane Stephens, who got a lot of hatred herself when she lost.
How do I deal with people in my life that I know, my family? Am I doing the right thing to avoid them? Should I engage them? And if I should engage them, what do I do?
Nat says Simone can talk that talk because she got the hardware. And again, she can. She can. Even though, I mean, clearly it's just factually inaccurate. She hears them. Otherwise, she would not have been addressing them. She would just be oblivious to them. So she hears them. But again, I didn't like it. I don't like it. It kind of feels like an air of arrogance that she doesn't need.
To COVID-19 and how, again, we are disproportionately being impacted.
Jameen said, that's the reason why, Lord King Emanuel, because you only speak the truth. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you. Thank you.
In our environment, family, friends that have drug, alcohol.
Nikki says, with our athletes, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. I'm not even sure what that means. Maybe there was a conversation going on that I was not aware of.
We want your thoughts on whatever else may be on your mind or in your heart. You can call in at 877-532-5797-187.
Oh, the tennis player who got fined 19 grand and dropped out of a prestigious competition. You're talking about Naomi Osaka, who is now saying she might not play tennis again for a while. Because she bust out crying again at a press conference after she lost at the U.S. Open this time. But instead of them cutting off, she said, no, I don't want to stop the press conference. And, you know, she kept going with the press conference. And, yeah, I agree. She might need to just step away for a while. I mean, I guess you got a right to cry. You know what I'm saying? You got a right to cry. But it's exceptionally uncomfortable. It's exceptionally uncomfortable. I don't necessarily want to be sitting there, you know, in a great mood. People asking you about your performance, win, lose, or draw, you know, and people saying, you know, hey, you know, tell us about the moment when you hit the shot and you like, just so sad. And you're like, oh my God, what happened? Oh Lord, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bring up you winning the match. I apologize. Can we do something? Oh, Jesus. You know.
Before some women know they're pregnant. Courts have blocked other states from imposing similar restrictions.
L. Hall wants to know, when Raven hosts the show, do you guys check her ratings to see how well she's doing? How do I answer this? I guess the answer is no. But that's like a super oversimplified answer to the question. And I would say there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that you don't understand that makes that question not a reasonable question. Which I'm not, trying to blast you or nothing. I'm saying you don't understand because there are behind the scenes things that if you did understand, that wouldn't be a question that would be asked. And I know that don't seem to make sense, but just trust me, there's behind the scenes things that you don't understand. And so that's not a reasonable question if you understood that. But I mean, I get what you're saying, but the short answer is no. The long answer is no. And it's not reasonable. Jack says, of course they check. No, they don't. Again, there's a lot of things behind the scenes that y'all don't understand. And that's not even a reasonable question with the knowledge of behind the scenes things. That's kind of all I'm kind of allowed to say because I can't even explain it to you. It's so behind the scenes that it's like you can't talk about those things on the air.
Go to WeFixMoney.com. WeFixMoney.com has been helping customers for over 13 years.
Jack says it's not reasonable because y'all live streaming and that seems it would affect radio numbers. Again, you don't understand. And the question itself doesn't make sense based on things that you couldn't possibly know. I don't know how else to say it. I guess the only thing else I can say is I won't even necessarily address the subject anymore because it makes so little sense. Again, based on things that you couldn't possibly know. I don't know how else to explain it.
The free gas app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. That's right. With the free Get Upside gas app, you can get
Shikari is the one going downhill. She came in fourth the other day.
Get Upside just for buying gas.
Get Upside. Some months I make $200 to $300.
I don't know if she's going downhill. You know what I'm saying?
Free money for buying gas.
She got smoked in the one race with the Jamaicans where she came in last. I know she got smoked in that race.
Up to 25 cents when you buy gas. Use promo code LIMO for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank.
Purple Pro says, interesting. Ratings are everything, I thought. Again, I know that a lot of people think a lot of things, but there's a lot of behind the scenes things where you think one thing, but then once you know, you know. I'm telling you not what I think. I'm telling you what I know. So I know that that's what people think, but I know. Do the network feel she's ready for her own show? I don't really know how to answer that question either. I'll just say this. She won't. I don't think she will have her own show in the next couple of months, but you never know what might happen after that. And it sounds like I'm trying to be cryptic. And I guess I kind of am, I guess I'm kind of being cryptic because I kind of have to. Because there are things that you're just not allowed to discuss. But, yeah. Who is Raven related to at the station? No one. No one. She just comes in and she does a good job. She does her job. And she does a good job. Nikki says Raven might get her own show. You never know. You never know. Jack says, like it's your show and numbers are up and down, and to have a guest host everyone knows will either increase or decrease. I assume decrease, and a package deal as far as local radio on your station and how many hours Radio 1 want you to have. Okay, that was a lot of words. Tony says Raven shouldn't give a response to every caller, especially as she says coming for her. She doesn't. She doesn't. People come for her and sometimes she says nothing. Other times people come for her and she responds. Jameen says Raven should be Raven because she's doing a good job and what she do. She's not the king, but she do a good job. I agree with you. She does a good job at what she does. And I don't expect her to be me. Because I know when I was me over there, I wasn't trying to be Lincoln. And people hated me because I didn't do things the way Lincoln did things. I'm like, I'm not Lincoln. I'm not going to do things the way Lincoln do things. But people couldn't stand it. People, when I say people hated me, I mean, some people still do, but people hated me just because I was me and not Lincoln. I mean, that's just kind of the way it is. It's just kind of the way it is. I remember people who liked the J Love show when that went away, and then somebody else took over that show. He who shall not be named took over that show. People hated it until they didn't. People hated it until they didn't. It's just how people are. People like what they like and they don't like what they don't like. And then they get used to what they get used to. And then once you get used to it, you're like, okay, this is what I like. And then if something changes, you're like, I don't like that. This is the best. It's like it wasn't the best when you didn't like it when you first heard it. Nat says, it ain't as easy as it looks to fill 3 hours with talk. Raven does a good job and is only getting better. I agree, Nat, 100%. It really is not easy to fill 3 hours with talk. It is not. And Lincoln was on here the other day and he was saying, he does his 2 hours. And so it was a time when I was off and Lincoln was like, I had to do 3 hours. He was like, ooh, and 3 hours is so hard. And then he thought about like, okay, I remember when I used to do 4 hours. And I'm looking at it like, woo, I don't know how you did 4 hours. Because 3 hours is hard. Like, it's not easy to fill 3 hours with talk. It's not. Nikki says, leave Lincoln alone. He's the real king of talk. Oh, that's not true. That's not true at all. He doesn't even refer to himself as a king of talk. So that's the kind of stuff I be talking about. Like, there are people who just hate for the sake of hate. Like, if me and Lincoln was battling, like Lincoln was like, oh, I'm the king. And I was like, no, I'm the king. And then you'd be like, pick a side. And some people would be like, Lincoln is the king. And other people would be like, Emanuel was the king. Lincoln don't even call himself the king. Some people just hate so hard that they have to give that to somebody else. Because that's all they know how to do is just be a hateful piece of humanity. So, you let the hateful pieces of humanity be what they are. Just, you understand what they are. They're just hunks of humanity that get their thrill and joy out of attempting to diminish somebody else. And somehow when you attempt to diminish somebody else, it makes you feel better, which is an interesting way to live. L. Hall said, you sound like a politician, but I get it's internal and can't be discussed outside the workplace. And that is true, but it ain't just like it sound like. I would love to be able to express it to y'all. These speakers feel kind of loud to me. I would love to be able to express it to y'all the way it actually is, but until you know how it actually is, it sounds like I'm being political. But if I could tell you exactly how it is, then you'd be like, oh, I get what you were saying. And with that knowledge, yeah, that question don't make no sense.
So a lot to talk about today. I'm going to open up the phones, 1-877-532-57.
Miss Lucky Charm says, that's the man of power Lincoln Ware. That's right. Lincoln is the man of power. And you would be just a hater if you're like, no, Emanuel is the real man of power. Like, no. Lincoln's the man of power. That's who he is. That's who he's been.
Thank you. Good day, Real Sharpie.
Good day to you.
Thank you. Yeah, I just want to first start off by saying I hope the people around the country, recognize.
Brent saying to Nikki, because Nikki was saying she's not hateful, but clearly she is.
Some people just work part-time.
She is. It's true.
And don't have vacation time off, or don't have adequate health care. It's constantly, some of the businesses is trying to take away.
She got a right to be hateful.
Vacation time with
and my guess is that it makes her feel better about herself. But that's just a guess. That's just a guess. Some people, it don't make them feel better about themselves. It just feeds that what's already there. I know this as a hater. As a hater, like the things that I hate on, it don't make me feel good to hate on them. But it feeds that part of me. That part of me. Nikki says your guess would be wrong. Maybe. I mean, you're definitely a hateful person. There's no question about that. I guess we're just arguing why and how it affects you. But
the outright assault.
Yeah, she says it doesn't feed anything. Well, maybe it don't. Maybe you just born that way, I guess. I don't know.
And as labor unions have decreased in some of their strength, the labor rights and benefits.
Lewis says, I never thought you would admit that you were a hater. I've always admitted to being a hater. There's a number of things that I hate. Like, I hate rape. Even just the concept of taking that from somebody. I hate that. I hate child abuse. Hate it. I hate it. Like, yeah, I'm a hater. Like, there are just things that I just hate. I've always admitted that.
I realized that on some jobs, when you don't have a union influence, you first can work under conditions, when they're doing 2 or 3 different jobs, but at the same time, they're not being paid, according to the work they put into the job. But not that they can be fired.
I really do. I don't like turning away sugar. I really don't. Oh, I went over a house on Labor Day weekend, and I love pound cake. And I know she can cook, and she made pound cake. And oh my goodness. Oh. Lewis says a lot of African Americans unjustly incarcerated because of hate. That's probably true. I've never unjustly incarcerated anyone because of my hate. Lewis, is there nothing that you hate? You don't hate anything? Like, you just cool with, child abuse.
Pay people once they
You might not be cool with it, but you don't hate it, right?
Municipalities and the states don't do that no more. I think that's very important for people to have that type of fallback. And I was saying, I just want to mention, I heard the police chief in Chicago, because of the killings taking place there, and I think over the weekend, I think it was a 4-year-old boy got shot in his home. He was visiting someone, he got shot in the head. So police chief was saying, maybe people who live in danger zones where they're abuse in that neighborhood, they shouldn't invite people from outside the neighborhood to come there to visit them. But I feel,
Did you have ice cream with the pound cake? I did not.
People who doing the shooting want, because it's a free country. People should be able to.
Lewis says, I hate that my people are the most hateful people on the planet. Ooh, I'm disturbed that you feel such negativity towards your people, whatever your people are. I'm disturbed that you feel that way.
Parents, you maybe not keeping tabs on their children, but to say, tell people not to have visitors over their home if they're not from the area.
Purple Pro says, actually, I was used to Raven, but really like Tiana's vibe. Raven cuts up too much and it would enjoy an audience her age. I think Raven does a great job. I think she does a great job. I think Tiana does a great job. They're different. They're different. And that's just it. Some people don't like Tiana. She seemed a little too laid back for them. Like, oh, she too laid back and this and that, and she don't know this and she don't know that. And I'm like, I like what different people bring to the table. But people do seem to feel like I gotta like one and not like the other. Like, believe it or not, you could like Lincoln Ware. You could like Emanuel Livingston. You could like Raven Monday. And you could like Tiana Niana. That's not her name, but I don't remember the last name. You could actually like all of them for different reasons. But for whatever reason, people feel like, ooh, if I like Lincoln Ware, I have to hate Emanuel. Or I have to not like Emanuel. Or if I like Emanuel, I have to not like Lincoln Ware. If I like Tiana, I have to not like Raven. If I like Raven, I have to not like Tiana. Like, no, you could like everybody. Or not like everybody. Tony says, what's with the losers shirt and what's the rest say? It says losers and suckers. The losers, I have to look. It's Confederate flag. They lost a war. They're losers. And the suckers has the Trump flag. Because if you're following Trump, he's pulled you in. You are a sucker. So that's the suckers. Losers and suckers.
If you need up to $2,500 for credit card bills, car repairs, child care, or any other reason, go to WeFixMoney.com.
Like I say, I've been not liking Lincoln since the 70s.
And has a rating with the Better Business Bureau. It's free to use, available 24/7, and you are never required to accept.
Now, there's some people who, look, I'm a huge proponent of, because there are people, and then I got to get out of here. There are people who I don't like. I don't know. But I like that Trevor Noah. I don't know Trevor Noah, so it's not a personal thing. But I don't like Trevor Noah. I can't really put my finger on it. But I do not like Trevor Noah. So everybody ain't gonna like everybody. Some people gonna not like Lincoln. Some people gonna not like me. Some people gonna not like Raven. Some people gonna not like Tiana. Some people gonna not like Al Sharpton. That's just the way things go. There's a difference between, like, I don't like Trevor Noah, but I don't go out of my way. Like, I'm not sending any messages during his show to tell him how horrible of a human he is and how ugly he is and how you know, he this, he, I'm not going out of my way to do that. I don't care for him. I still watch him sometimes, even though I'm kind of cringing while watching him, like, but, you know. Yes, Lonzo. Yes, he is. Black Lion. But that's why I say, you know, some stuff is hate. Like if you are going out of your way to go on the Lincoln Ware show to tell Lincoln how much you hate him. Like you really, you don't have to go on the Lincoln Ware show's live stream and tell him how much you hate him. You could either not go on the live stream or just watch the live stream and, you know, comment about the actual topics or, you know, comment on other people's comments or whatever. But if you're on there to tell him, I hate you, you know, that's a little hateful. And then so you can't be like, well, I don't hate him. I'm not a hater. You're like, no, just own it. Like, I'm a hater. I'm a hater. Like, I hate Lincoln. So I'm not really a hater. I'm not really a hater, but you spend all day on Lincoln's broadcast telling you how much you hate him. But you're not a hater. Like, just own it. Like,
let's face it, they can't do it without your help. Join me in supporting
yeah, no, he ain't. He is not funny. He is not funny. I wish, what was his name? Stewart. Jon Stewart would have given that show to someone else. Would have given it to someone else funny.
I learned that no one likes me. In English, I learned that I'm disgusting. And in physics,
Lewis says the hate is why 2 black women convicted Judge Tracy Hunter. I don't think so. I don't think they did it because they hated her. I think they did it because they felt a lot of pressure.
today in school, I learned that I have no friends. In English, I learned
Tria says it's hateful and stalkerish. It is. It is. C says, congrats on a non-COVID show. I work hard to bring you a non-COVID show. I work hard to do it. And there was so much stuff that because, you know, Lincoln be saying stuff on his show, and I be thinking, that's not even reasonable, man. Why are you saying that? And then part of me be like, let me come in and try to bring some other perspective. But then I'd be like, no, just let it be. It is what it is. But it's hard. If you look through the news, go on a news site, pick your site, an actual news site, you see a whole lot of coronavirus stories. Because there is still a lot going on with the coronavirus. I understand why they're doing it, because it's out there. But you see a whole lot of coronavirus stories. And so, you know, to discuss things and ignore coronavirus, some people said it's irresponsible. But you can get coronavirus information anywhere.
Upside down, it's up to you to be ready. Get a kit, make a plan, be informed. Today,
And I'm watching, they're talking about 9/11 20 years later. It's going to be all week. It's going to be all week because 9/11 is Saturday. So it's just going to build and build and build to its crescendo on Friday. And then Saturday will be all these commemorations and
The dad joke. Corny, grown-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
why do you have to be careful when spraying cats and dogs?
I am trying to do a non-coronavirus, non-abortion show. Because, you know, I'm a man. And so as a man, I'm not allowed to have an opinion about abortion.
Why did
Purple Pro says Tracy Hunter's court video has had 8 million views. Nobody is on her side outside of her friends. I'm not her friend, but I'm on her side.
I didn't think it was anything.
They railroaded her.
I was spotty, but I had already gone.
She didn't do anything wrong.
Maybe nothing, but they could be early warning signs of
I'm 100% on her side. Davis Denise talking about the Vikings. I'm not sure what that means. For me, contextually, that made me think about Queen. I don't know what you're talking about.
You bring home so much good to your community because everything you buy funds local job training and more. Goodwill, bring good home. Brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Keeping It Real with the Reverend Al Sharpton on 101.5, The Buzz of Cincinnati, your talk station.
Brent said COVID free, but not crazy free. All right, y'all. I got to get out of here. I got something that I have to have done by 4, and then got to have somewhere else. TC says it's not nice to hate. It is okay to disagree, but the word hate is so strong and dark. I agree, but there are some people who hate so strong and dark that you just got to call it what it is. It's hate. And if it's not hate, this is because y'all know, I'll be trying to think things through. If it's not hate, it is sure a good job of pretending to be hateful. So you may not be a hateful person, but you're really good at pretending to be a hateful person. Rodney says, wow, Emanuel, that don't sound good. What don't sound good? That I be trying to get, think things through.
With this Texas ruling, $10,000 if you get somebody who got an abortion that was over 6 weeks pregnant, or a doctor, or even the U-boat.
Tony says, man, Tracy Hunter did do something wrong. She thought white people liked her. I don't know that she thought that. I don't know that she thought that white people liked her. She just thought that she would be able to get elected and do the job that she was elected to do without being railroaded and convicted of a crime that she didn't commit, and have her law license stripped from her and go to jail and have exceptionally large fines and her life thrown into shambles for doing her job.
So you're dealing with presidents that even the majority of the voters.
But all right, y'all, I got to get out of here. Until next time. Yeah, somebody said everybody be safe. Everybody be safe so that, you have the option to come back tomorrow. I want you to be able to make that decision, and you can't even make the decision if you're not with us. So everybody be safe, all right? Till next time, I'm out, y'all. Peace.